Players League presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet,
an innovative program connecting gaming,
STEM, education, and real-world career opportunities.
Our mission is clear: empower students through competition, mentorship, and hands-on learning experiences to shape the leaders of tomorrow.
The Players League combines esports with an extensive STEM curriculum focused on content creation.
Across 10 lessons, students master essential skills like storyboarding, filming, and video editing, culminating in the creation of compelling business advertisements.
These experiences open pathways to careers in marketing, entertainment, technology, broadcasting, and beyond.
Competition fuels engagement and growth. Students compete regionally in an exciting Madden 25 tournament, showcasing their strategic thinking and gaming prowess.
But the impact extends far beyond gameplay. As for our program activity, connect students with industry experts who offer real-world insights into dynamic career possibilities.
Heard when we first joined that there would be NFL players, but I wasn't really expecting like big name NFL players to be here. So it was really cool seeing Jonathan Stewart and the wide receiver that helped get my team to the Super Bowl.
From Houston and the Carolinas to Green Bay and New England, Player League spans communities, building foundational skills for thriving careers in marketing, entertainment, and communications.
Uniquely, students benefit from the mentorship by the former NFL players who provide inspirational credibility and practical advice drawn from their elite athletic experiences.
This program's pinnacle is a live, in-person championships during the NFL Draft in Green Bay, where top schools from each region compete for both STEM and Madden titles. Programs like the Players League matter because they bridge passion and opportunity, empowering students through transformative education and mentorship.
Join the Players League.
Compete,
create, and discover your future.
Welcome into the Players League here again. And my name is Bearlight, joined by Monkey Man as always. Let's get things going into week number 8. Here we go, Mr. Monkey Man. It is time for some Madden, some STEM together in the beauty that you've seen ahead of you, which is esports and STEM League. Hell, Monkey Man, how you doing?
It has been 2 months of awesome STEM and esports, a collision course between football and making commercials, some good old times here with Players League. I'm having a fantastic day. I took today off. I was like, you know what? There's a lot that I don't want to do today at work, so I'm going to be saving all my energy for the end of it. And that's exactly what I did here. So playing hooky, don't do that, kids. Stay in school. But we get to be able to see some awesome talent today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we got these kids coming in, building their commercials like we mentioned. We'll talk about that a little bit further as we had a STEM stream just last week that went phenomenally. If you missed out on that one, there's some big news that you're going to want to kind of check out as time goes on here in this pre-show. So excited to get into the details of that. But first, we obviously want to thank Brightspeed because of the incredible things that they've done. And by the way, new Brightspeed Fiber Internet is here. It's the ultra-fast internet you've been waiting for. Now everyone in your house can stream, game, and do more all at the same time. Brightspeed technicians ensure your fiber internet works all over your house, so you can too. No more searching for that one spot in the house to take your video call. Don't settle for slow and unreliable speed anymore. Switch to Brightspeed today. Go to go.staypluggedin.gg/BrightspeedApril. That is go.staypluggedin.gg/BrightspeedApril. Limited availability in selected areas. Mr. Monkey Man. Exclamation point Brightspeed in chat if you want to get a quick link to that.
It's in case you don't know what fiber internet is, by the way, it's a bunch of crystals, and it's literally fiber because it's like a tiny little muscle, and it does all the cool things, and it's able to give you so much awesome speed. But make sure to check that out with Brightspeed. But also check out our STEM learning that's been going on, as we've actually been seeing it from week to week to week progress for all the awesome projects that have come along the way. We actually got to talk to the director of ed, good old Justin Ellis, that was hanging out with us last Friday. And if you didn't see that, well, you missed out, but it doesn't mean it didn't go anywhere, as you're able to see it on the live on YouTube for Stay Plugged In, as well as for the VODs that is on this channel. But it was a very enlightening course of everything that happened last Friday.
Yeah, we were learning everything there is like to know about commercials. Number one, I'm learning about fiber internet now from you as we speak. So Players League has really taught a whole bunch to not only the players but myself included. There's no doubt about it. But to be able to see them graded on their storyboards and see them come to life in that previous stream into this one, where we then saw the rough drafts and and got the breakdowns. We also got to find out who made the finals. If you didn't tune in, too bad. No, just kidding. We'll let you know at the post show. Who got in? Exactly. You'll have to wait now because it's a punishment for not being there. But let's get to it. We had 8 high schools from 4 different regions that we had coming in, obviously, for Players League, both in the esports and the STEM side. Green Bay made up of that Green Bay, Southwest High School, and Bayport High School. We've seen a lot of them, as well as the Carolina side of things, too, with Kearns Academy and T. Wingate.
Yep, and then on the other side, we have had Houston with Woodlands Christian Academy, as well as Stafford High, and New England has had Hartford Public, as well as SMSA with the Sport and Medical Science Academy. But breaking it really down into the 8 schools from all these 4 different regions that aim to make the finals literally next week for STEM. Everyone was graded when it came to participation, when it came to their actual rough drafts, and then how much extra assistance that they got from the old D of E. And when we got that breakdown that you can definitely see exclusively into the recording of it, we did get our finalists that are going to be appearing, and it's not just one from each region. There's a little bonus in there, Bear.
Oh, it sure is. Let's start with the New England region. Just kidding, you don't have to wait till the post show. Let's check them out now. Hartford Public High School was able to win that New England side. And then we moved on to the Houston side. And joining us from the Houston region to Green Bay, a long trip for them, but it'll be from Woodlands Christian Academy. Congratulations to that side as well. And then Carolina will go over next. Monkey Man.
Carolina's is going to be bringing Kearns Academy, and then Green Bay. This one's a special treat for you because their actual winner that came through was Green Bay Southwest. However, they were only separated by 3 points from their opponents, so there was some good old love given by the D of E. So as a special guest, another finalist, it will be double cheeseheads showing up in Packerland, as Bayport High will also be joining them. So that's an awesome set of finalists that will be going in. A 5-headed Hydra for the finals of STEM, and then some big steps in the near future for all those students as they got to be able to figure out who's going to be winning, I guess, at the NFL draft.
Yeah, that's right. Saturday, April 26th. Mark your calendars. That'll be the finals for the STEM side. I'll be on that broadcast. Justin Ellis, we'll check on him and see where he's at during that time frame. But students' goals will be refining their videos too. We saw the rough drafts. They're gonna have final versions, so they'll have about a week, 2 weeks. They're busy with extracurriculars, with regular school flow as well, but I'm excited to see what they can put into that work over those past 2 weeks. So the gap 2 weeks from when we saw them until that final product, Monkey Man, because a lot of them I really honestly enjoyed.
Yeah, there was some great some great build up and progress, because obviously we got to see all the storyboards, and that was a great template to be able to, all right, what do I want to do? Is this really what I want to follow through with? This was some neat guidance, but then as they had some refining that was happening, they're all right, let's actually shoot the thing and see what happens. There was some creativity. We got to see VR. We got to see some great transitions, some awesome use of audio and some music, some be able to get some camera angles going. I saw a guy in a Bane mask. There was a lot that was happening. And there was also some students that were present when we were looking through them and saying, you know what, I like your feedback. We'll be able to refine it over the next couple of weeks. So maybe some of the things that you and I talked about when we were hanging out with Justin will also get employed for the final product.
I cannot wait to not just make the 2-day drive to Green Bay. That one I'm less looking forward to and via car. However, when we get there, it's going to be a heck of a time. We got more details in the post show, like I mentioned, so make sure you stick around to the very end to see the details on times. When is everything taking place? What additional surprises do we have that we haven't even announced yet? All of that takes place in the post show. And just a big thank you to Brightspeed already, and to Stay Plugged In as well for the wonderful things that they've done on a regular basis to bring this to life as well. Curriculum, a huge part of theirs. In fact, any kind of future for a student is all about Stay Plugged In. So students can create a free account on Stay Plugged In specifically to be able to connect directly to colleges. So the recruiting platform specifically, in-person events, online events, be able to connect with those colleges and be able to speak with those colleges mano a mano, face-to-face, even at those live events, go through college fairs, learn about programs, message through the system as well, follow colleges and create your college interest list. These are all things you can do on Stay Plugged In here, Monkey.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult thing whenever you are originally just a student that's wondering what your future is going to be and how you're going to be able to find basically an easy pathway to have that handled. Sometimes you're able to do it with your parents, and sometimes you end up doing it alone. And this really is a very helpful program for Stay Plugged In. You'll be able to follow and contact colleges directly from the website, be able to give your pathway some easy success along the way. All through Stay Plugged In. Make sure to visit staypluggedin.com. That's staypluggedin.com and create your player account today.
Yeah, and then, of course, that's from the player perspective. You also get that hands-on learning like we've seen from the Formula STEM Esports Cup, or where they're learning how to become the many jobs that take place in F1. They're learning examples of that. So, like logistics manager, operations manager, marketing manager, not only just what the job does, but, like, how do you get to that job? What entry-level roles exist for this job? How do you network for it? Where do you go? It's such a cool program. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out at racing.staypluggedin.com. And then, of course, it's just the many opportunities, whether it's going to college or if maybe college isn't for you. There's also options out there, too, thanks to activations like that and the Players League that we're right here with. Also, if you're a high school program, there's plenty of love for you too on the Stay Plugged In Network. I'll tell you that right now. In fact, the first way that you can help out your program is by funding it and getting proceeds from merch sales. That's why there's Emerge Apparel as a Stay Plugged In company. So our creative director, Matt, is actually the owner of Emerge Apparel. So it is an in-house Stay Plugged In effort to get your team looking great, but also putting money back into your program as well, Monkey.
The most difficult thing about running a storefront in particular, and we talk about for having to do booster clubs, and that very much is the same slide as having to run a business, and it's having so much of the merchandise present and available, and Emerge Apparel definitely takes all that away from you. You have that digital footprint that now is going to be available to everyone that is from your school, or maybe even just extended family that wants to be able to get on it with on-demand printing and fulfillment. You don't have to fill a box in the corner with inventory. No, it is done immediately whenever you order from the page, which is really darn cool. So no hassle with fulfilling those orders, because they'll be able to do that with you, and you get part of the proceeds with that. So portion of those goes directly to the program. You get to be able to replace stress with revenue, and you can do it today. You can be able to visit emergeapparel.gg. That's emerge, just like it is that little logo, apparel.gd, and you can do that today to start getting some really cool clothes and cool stuff for your program.
I was talking to a high school, and they set up an Emerge storefront. Literally, you can just copy and paste your team stores. Like, you get a URL, they made it a QR code, pass it around, and they made a heck ton from a lot of the students and parents and teachers and everybody to support their esports program. So that's a giant way that you can do it, an easy way to get started as well. Well, of course, once you get your funding, obviously you want a cool place to compete too. Well, we got you there too, as we have our Stay Plugged In Labs initiative as well, where we not only just build wonderful things like you're seeing on your screen right now, these wonderful esports labs which feature state-of-the-art equipment, for example, production suites in addition to just PC setups, so that way your kids don't have to continuously compete offline, right? Or at their own, I say offline, I mean at their own locations, right? Obviously they're competing online, but they have an environment. Number one, they can fist bump whenever they make a huge play, right? There's just so many ways that you can that environment creates a person and student who wants to be there in the first place.
Yeah, very much so. And this is not going to be like back in the day when you're playing Oregon Trail on the 8-inch floppy disk on that one little random manila colored and green screen Mac that's just between two separate classrooms. All of you know, except for the ones that maybe are actually in school right now, what I'm talking about. This is fully dedicated, super cool. And like we've been talking about before, you can be able to have the home and aways where you get to go into someone else's campus and look and see what kind of logo and branding they got. It's the buy-in process. Not just from students, but also from family, from friends, the faculty. Pretty much anyone that wants to be able to see it grow is going to see it be done in such a big way, especially with the way that the Esports and Innovation Labs are able to make that mark.
And Stay Plugged In is just one of a few different places that do this. To be quite honest, we like to be candid in that way. But there's not a whole lot of places out there that also will back it up with a lot of programming that goes into this. So it's not just in esports at your school. It's how do we get them engaged? How do we work in a STEM like we're doing here at Players League? Well, we have the summer camps, and that's just one avenue of what you can do at Stay Plugged In. Outside of summer camps, there's also programming, during the school day, or Or there's also industry days, for example, where you learn a lot of the things that you see in the summer camp program. So things like content creation, like we're doing right now, or AI, for example, aviation, being able to get on those flight simulators, Monkey Man, and hopefully be able to land a plane.
Yeah, I have crashed a few in my time, but I know that there's people with much better hand-eye coordination than I that are growing up into this, and they can also serve a wide range of partners. You've already seen it when it comes to schools. Well, how about colleges and parks and recs, as well as like boys and girls clubs and YMCAs, and there's even a stretch of them going across many separate regions, as there have been program activations that are in development for North Carolina with the Summit Summer in Winston-Salem, as well as New York, Massachusetts. Super cool that we've been able to see it really stretch that wide. I got to see some summer camps a little while back when it came to just regular STEM, and they're like, hey, you want to play some Minecraft? I'm like, all right, Minecraft do be cool, but let's expand upon that, and this is really hitting that mark for me.
Yeah, I got to actually be able to teach at one of these summer camps too, with the Stay Plugged In one. So we had like students, for example, that are at a station casting with me, learning how to do it, and they're casting the Rocket League portion while kids are learning how to play Rocket League, like if they haven't played before, or they're competing against one another. They build their own brackets, so they're learning tournament organization at the same time while competing in Rocket League. I'm over on the casting station, the production setup in one of the spin labs, teaching the students that aspect of it. And then you also had kids that are organizing the rest of it as well. So like it's just hands-on. How does the esports space work? But also, what are some of the jobs that exist within it? I could go on for hours. So we got to get to the action now. So let's get into the standings right now and bring them up. Let's start with Houston first, as we have seen from this region, solely Monster, who has been a monster in his own rights. You have Painter on that side for Woodlands Christian High School, and Stafford High School, I mean, equally as impressive, I would even argue.
Yeah, this has been a very kind of tight race. Obviously, you get towards the top, and it seems like it's a little bit more defined, especially from the Woodlands Christian side. Sully Monster, I think right now he's got kind of an arm's reach extension beyond JW Painter as well as Gabe Zert. As long as he closes out this week, might be able to be their representative. On the other end, it is kind of it's a very tight race between Davo, Chris, Say Presto, as well as Boogie. So I don't know which one is going to be coming out of Stafford, but Houston has decidedly kind of put everyone into a big jumble. This is the kind of dirty competition, and I mean that because no one's record is perfect, save Sully and Painter, that really is going to just kind of figure out if someone will rise to the top of the chaff.
Just super balanced as a region. I would expect no less from a Texas, side school. I know it's Madden, not traditional football, but you still see that same level of compete. Well, let's get into the Carolina region, my home town here, as I'm not going to play favorites, but I love these guys. Also, T. Winged Andrews doing extremely well, as the other side struggling a little bit currently. So... but I mean, they have King Mode. So at the end of the day, they have somebody who's 2-0 and the second in the state, by the way.
Yeah. So King Mode, I think there's been some kind of back and forth, especially because all the students have to play to do their academics as well as kind of doing Players League. King Mode being as good as they are already, and then having to basically kind of do what is required of them to compete. The rest of the team, they've been finding their way through. We've seen some players over the course of this bear that have tried their hand at the first time ever in Players League at Madden. So King Mode might end up being that penultimate representative out of Woodlands Christian, but T. Winged Andrews, that is a very tight race. That's going to come down to a horse's nose as to who is going to be repping for them to have to face the king.
Quite literally. And you actually got baited there, and so did I. It's not Woodlands Christian. It's actually Kearns Academy. They're on the Carolina region.
I knew it. I was like, this doesn't make sense.
I was like, this feels wrong. No worries, though. We'll go on to the Green Bay region now, as we've seen so much of this region, Monkey. So we can actually really dive into the details of what we've seen on this side. Tux Bear has been the shining star of the Bayport side. We expect them to get the nod, quite frankly. But it's that Green Bay Southwest side where everything is up for grabs.
Yeah, okay. Mathematically, Tux Bear should be a shoe-in. Bayport, they got in at the last second when it came to the STEM side by 3 points and a special guest entrance, so they're given an extra life. Tux Bear is their hero right now, and he's gonna have to face off against someone that is literally just a multi-headed matchup between, I think, that top three. I think One Hand Fish might end up kind of falling a bit too far behind Mini Fish, depending on final results, because you have a 5-0 that looks super perfect right now, but if they fall and Ghost and Light rise, we can have a conversation that may kind of flip the board when it comes to Southwest.
100%. And there's only one way to really find out how it's going to go. Typically, this is when we would send it to the 6 o'clock block, but it's going to have to hold off for just an extra minute as we have highlights from last week as things start to cook into this week 8. So check out this highlight video now.
Welcome to week 7 of the Players League, presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet.
Now you're trying to set up a pass, and he's already in the shotgun, so you pretty much guarantee that it's going to be that. He's got Gibbs out wide left. He's got a man wide open as Williams will be picking it up, and that is going to be first points on the board here for Flame Dude.
Try and even things at 6 if they can. That's wide open, by the way. It's Sam Laporte has got some space to work with. The dive will miss, and wide open spaces will lead for a touchdown.
You know what? Safe call. I'm not against getting the regular PAT, considering that the wind is nasty in Detroit.
Because then you just kind of bounce off. You have to be able to just wrap him up. Here's an opportunity as well. Far side, stuck it in. How did he get this one? They'll count it. It'll be 13-22 now.
Wonder if they're going to key in that Gibbs is going to be out that way, but no, they just go straight over to the main man himself as he comes up with it again.
PAT it is. Will be the decision. A little bit off the left side. It's a fake. Why? Oh no. At least back within 4, and then extra point we've always got to wait on. But now they've got open space. Laporta, good cut in as well for the touchdown. Motion one over. Opportunity. Fakes it, throws, wide open. Great play call and a touchdown to make it 13-3.
So the only, I'm gonna be real. The only hockey video game I've ever played is Nagano 98 on the N64, and
Nice.
apparently Jackson is just gonna rip one from scrimmage to end zone. Wow. I would think. I mean, if you're trying to just let him park the bus, it's gonna. What? No way! It deflected off of another receiver and ends up in the hands of St. Brown. What?
That's crazy. Off the hands tip drill from the offense, apparently. And it works. Opportunity with Jackson. Back of the shotty. Now gonna lob it. Nobody back out there, though. And user interception. Tuxbear gonna lock this one down.
Why not? Oh, McCarthy. What? Oh, just for reasons. Yeah, a nice skip into the end zone as Hawkinson adds one for punishment.
And, of course, more Players League coming at you as well. Follow the social media like Monkey Man said, and we'll see you next time. Good night. You know, man, I mean, what a week. Wrap it up. We had some very close matches. Actually, the closest I think we've seen throughout the entirety of the season.
Yeah, there was a decision to go for the fake. There was a decision to, have to go for regular PATs. Special teams, interestingly enough, in regular football, definitely kind of proves a point as a variable to regular play. And it did the same thing for some of our games last week. I wonder how much of that is going to get practiced by some of these players, especially as we go into our last week of the regular season. Someone's got to make it into these regionals. And, hey, Tuxbear's shown exactly why. That they're trying to be that big representative for their school out of Bayport.
Hey, no doubt about it. Well, we've got it up and ready. It is time for the 6 o'clock block. We have featured matches tonight, so just one per 2 blocks that we'll have. So 2 matches featured tonight because they're big ones. Tuxbear, we said, a shoo-in? We'll have to see. They got to face off with Minifish for this time, Monkey.
Wow, that is a premium matchup. You get both these teams, both these players in particular, have really found themselves in great strides, especially when it comes to their offense. Look at Minifish, currently undefeated, coming out of Southwest. They are the darling of this school. Tuxbear, this is a chance to truly just kind of supplant themselves as the hero that will be fully representing Bayport. But this also could create a wrinkle here, Bear, because if Tuxbear ends up winning, then Minifish falls into the pack of at least 2 other players that have a single loss. So then there ends up being a conversation of who truly might rep Southwest.
The pack. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but that was very much enjoyable. Hey, let's get into it now. It's Tuxbear and Minifish. I'd say the main frame, but we have the main game instead. It'll be Tuxbear on the Lions, Minifish on the Ravens, as we've seen so many times this year. Kickoff upon us now. 5 minutes on the clock in the first quarter, and we're underway now, Mr. Monkey Man.
Good old Detroit and good old Baltimore. So as we go, this is actually what Tuxbear played into last week, wasn't it? Right? Pretty
That's
sure.
right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So similar situations then. We get to see how that one works out for them. As Tuxbear will be for Detroit, and Minifish will be on the Ravens. So we got to see a lot more utilization, kind of change things up from that Ravens game, actually slipping and sliding between the use of going over to Henry, as well as a lot of the passing game that got opened up for the Ravens.
See how their offense begins. They'll send one over left to right. That's Isaiah Likely in motion. Jackson back for it. Now we'll look left to right. It's picked off right off the bat. Robertson now has a little bit of space. We'll try to cut it back out and cut it back in. So a couple of great moves to gain even more yardage, but even more importantly, a big turnover early.
That is literally first from scrimmage. That one will rock you a little bit. Okay, so already making a statement. And again, the stakes couldn't be any higher for Minifish right now. Tuxbear is in a situation where if he wins, it just makes him look even greater, but probably is going to be the Bayport rep. But Minifish needs to find success tonight, and if they do not, then everything kind of changes that paradigm. We're going to go at least into kind of a deep stack set. Montgomery has been finding their wheels. They're going to go all the way to the outside. Might even have themselves 6 early. They will be knocked out around the 5. What a run.
Yeah, that was a great job to bounce that outside and create even more space. And you bring up a solid point here. It's so much more difficult to answer defensively when the other defense is stepping up. You'd rather have the field have that control. Instead, that's why defensive plays early are such an impact play, especially a big one like we just saw. So now an opportunity inside the 5 already. Their second play from scrimmage. It'll be Montgomery down to the 1. Thought he could sneak in, but a big hit to save at least 6 for now.
And he was definitely trying to shift everyone as he got it was twins out right. Then he shifted it to a bunch set onto that left, seeing if he could get more of the coverage to go to that side of the pit, side of the field. They opened around that A to B gap, and now look how tightly squeezed. They know this is going to be tested straight up the gut. They put Smith over the nose, and that does not matter. It's going to be a QB keeper, and that'll be first on the board with Tuxbear.
Yeah, it's like when you see everybody lined up to try to stop the tush push from the Eagles back in their prime, right? And it was just like, it's still not going to happen. So do everything you can. It still won't matter. So not only does Tuxbear get that first defensive play, but then is able to come right back out and score after just 3 plays and put it in the end zone for his first lead of this game. And the first points will make it 7-0 for Tuxbear.
All right, so you got already 7 put up after a takeaway, a big interception. And defense was the name of the game last week, Bear. We got to see some great games overall, and this started with the defense. You can win championships with it, and that definitely is meaningful in football. So it'll be Minifish trying it out again, as they're going to go straight up onto the 24-yard line. They're going to get back to this campaign, and they're going to go an immediate empty backfield as they're going to start slinging this one downfield.
Yeah, 5 wide, of course. Just like we saw before, we'll see them in motion. I don't know if the passing play is here, especially when you got picked off the first time twice in a row. Oh, my. Try to challenge him again, and he's going to say, come at me all day long. This defense has been great.
Robertson with his second interception in as many plays of offense by Minifish. This one at least is a pseudo punch, so they'll be in a better situation than when they got tagged up around the 30-yard line this time. But still, that is not good looks. You go gunslinging, you got to wonder, is that just trying to do too much too early? As we'll go to another 1st and 10 here for Tuxbear.
Yeah, pseudo punt on first down is never how you draw it up, but now Tuxbear back after it. Similar play. Is this deja vu? Ran it on the left side. This time will be tracked down before they gain a big chunk, but still a gain of 5 here to make it 2nd and 5.
We haven't seen Goff had to do anything to air as of yet. Montgomery is such a weapon, and as long as you keep him fresh, he's had, 2 plays, and so they're going to keep this one. Actually, no, make it 3. So they've been able to at least get into this one. That's going to be a chunker. Goes over to Patrick. They're going to do a little bit of tightrope walk, and eventually will run his way out. But that's a big first down. That's at the 25.
Yeah, great chunk yardage here. To the 25 they'll go. Goff back in shotgun formation. And we'll look to maybe call an audible here to try to get things cooking. Maybe doesn't like what they see because somebody stacked up here. Nobody in the middle of the field here. They're all out wide. I think they're trying to recognize that. You saw one cross, but they couldn't find him in time, and the defense will track them down for a big loss of 10.
That was the same exact play setup that got them the score, or rather, that got them that down to the 1 yard line when they're in red zone contention last time around. I thought they were going to do the same thing. They saw a lot of players and they kind of bailed out of it. Montgomery's going to get them some yardage back. I love the cut plays. They're doing a big sidestep to be able to get themselves some extra spacing. So it's going to be 3rd and long, but much more reasonable than it was a little bit ago.
And you can tell they make Montgomery the lead on purpose because you have a better chance of breaking tackles. Plus, you still get that edge speed. Not as much as Gibbs, but still enough to justify it now with the screenplay and plenty of room to work with. Does get around for the first down, just enough to make it 1st and 10 at the 13.
That tiny head fake paused the feet of the tacklers that were coming at Montgomery. That was so good of running. And now you have an empty backfield, so they're completely switching things up. You will have the same kind of pressure they had to the left, but that's going to be stacked up right. You have trips into that bunch formation. They go right over. Oh, my goodness. And already you've got 2 big scores. That one's sliding into the back pocket. Again, Tuxbear is making their way through.
Left to right, Jamison Williams caught them and dove and put it in the exact right spot to get that touchdown. Well done. So now, already up to 13-0, make it 14 if they hit this one, and they do. So that's a lot of points off of turnovers. So you like defensive plays, but the fact that you're cashing in on the other side is certainly a big point here for Tuxbear.
If I am Minifish, I am going to Henry. Like, off the rip, I am not throwing this ball. I know people want to reestablish confidence, but for any good football game, start from the ground. You have to be able to get yourself moving in positive directions and not giving the ball away. That has got to be something that gives them at least a moment of pause and like, okay, let me gain something that isn't just me chucking this away. It does look like for the moment that's going to be a passing play. We'll see if that one goes through.
You'll see if they get a better read here. Plus, you have Jackson's legs, too, that you can't do, but they test it again. 3 passes, 3 interceptions. That one being walked back as well, down inside the 30. Big interception again.
At least this one isn't Robertson, right? This, he's spreading the field. Unfortunately, of the, 21 other players, it's still going to one that's in silver, blue, and white. That is going to be Barnes that picks up an INT, and man, Tuxbear is eating for free, and Minifish is the one paying for it.
Yeah, sitting at 5-0, and the pressure's on, and unfortunately, it looks like they might be collapsing a little bit earlier in this one. They need a big turnarounds, and they almost got it. Look as the defender tried to jump the route, but somehow they fit in the window to Jamison Williams again on 2 back-to-back plays as he got the touchdown last time.
Dude has solid hands. He's got a solid height, and he's able to get up just in front of him. It did look like he was trying to go for a user leap there, and so you're gonna have to try and crush this down. Look at how they stack that box. They're bringing the linebackers up. They actually had Smith, though, had kind of chunked up into it. That's because they're waiting for this Montgomery read. That's actually very smart of them because they know that they have been very successful on the ground trying to fill those gaps, and they get a tackle for loss.
Need a little bit of confidence. I thought that sack in the last possession for 10 was going to really start things and get some confidence rolling, especially defensively, and maybe that would transition to the offensive side, but we just haven't seen it. Another connection, and this time for just a few. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 6 after this is all said and done. So once more, it doesn't seem like Tuxbear's having the same issue as far as finding receivers.
No, and he's going immediate. There is not a lot of time to get to Goff into that backfield. He's going to have one man protecting him, and he's going to have plenty of time to have to work. They're trying to send the house, and they're going to send it from wide right to wide left, and it's just automatic. Another one going in. Wow, Tuxbear. You know what? They've had to really find their way through this season, but 4-2 is really showing the progress they've made.
Yeah, because if you look at the rest of Tuxbear's high school, it's not been exactly pristine quite yet. They're obviously in the learning process as far as learning Madden. Tuxbear has been the pride and joy of this high school and showing why. The 5-0 might be a tad misleading there from the Minifish side, but still not anything that you can bat an eye over. I don't care who you're playing. You got to win games, and at the 5-0 mark, that makes this 21-0 lead from Tuxbear that much more impressive. He has certainly been out of the gate ready for this one and certainly is going to walk in with a head of steam here into we're not even done with the first quarter. He's up 21-0.
I know. It's been 3 INTs in as many plays from the line of scrimmage. Minifish has to get something positive. I know that they were looking for a better read last time. That one ended up falling into the wrong, or, well, obviously into a separate Lions player. This time around, might have themselves a chance. They're going to go from the ground. Henry's going to try and stretch this one wide, but my goodness, not a single gap available for him to get through.
Yeah, if he had a little bit of room and you cut it downfield, that's where Henry gets the most value. And that's the beauty of this defense from Tux Bear and the choice of the Lions is that they already have such a speedy defense. They'll be able to track it down anyways if you take that long to really be able to develop a play. That's another example of that as they try to go end around, or not end around, but they tried to go at least outside, had to cut it back, but by the time they saw that vision, they could only gain one.
Yeah, they faked the shovel pass, which I thought would have been a really neat to go off motion and maybe get to someone that had speed and break out of that barrier from the outside. But no, then they went to their second directive, and that just couldn't get much. Seemed they could be able to test this one as they just decide to pile drive. They will fake the run. That's a chance, and this will be a first down. The first, hopefully, a minute, but you go diving, and it's going to be a fumble picked up by Campbell. Another turnover. Oh, you don't got to dive. You just got to slide.
Yeah, slide right there. It's gonna be a learning lesson for sure. Hit the X button. I believe it is on Xbox, perhaps. But you just gotta tap it. Just tap, tap-a-roo. You don't want to hold it, otherwise you dive into a situation where you have your 4th turnover in the first quarter.
Oh no! So. A hunger for more. I completely understand. This has been a very desperate beginning so far for Minifish, and maybe he thought that he could do no wrong. He's 5-0 right now, and I won't say it's hubris, but definitely testing where Tux Bear is gonna try and at least find some levels of some success. And it's been 21 points, and even the game's like, hey man, you want to chill for a second because this is looking tough out there for you.
Your favorite little message there within Madden. We've talked about that plenty. Well, Minifish has never given up before. Why start now? I guess would be my answer, too, if I saw that message. And we'll go into the second quarter with an opportunity to at least maybe make a play here. Obviously, you're on the defensive side, and it's been no trouble for Tux Bear to move it down the field. But I expect nothing less than at least a mini comeback and maybe even just a change of a quarter. I know a change of a half can really switch things, but hopefully the change of the quarter, it maybe shifts and strengthens the mentality here.
I like that you said mini comeback for Minifish. That's really good. Okay, so they're able to cut him down behind the line of scrimmage. I think that one was a loss of 1. So good looks to try and at least close these gaps, make it more difficult for Tux Bear to establish the run game, which he's been doing pretty successfully. He's having to run to the outside instead of really get anything into these gaps unless it's a goal line. Going to a 3rd and 7. It's reasonable. Have a chance to finally maybe get this one out of Tux Bear's hands. They're going to toss it over the top of 2, and that'll be knocked down in double coverage.
I was about to say, if he sneaks it into that window, then this game is just meant for Tux Bear to win. Like, just call it at that point in time, because that was not any target that should have happened. Plus, the defense read it extremely well, too. So a big step in the right direction for Minifish as they're able to force a punt here. And that punt is inside the 20, so love that Tux Bear's really showing up in every aspect of this game, right? Defensively, that's 4 turnovers without a question. Probably one of the best performances we've seen from a defense already. Plus, they've been able to score off these turnovers. And then a punt inside the 20, what can this guy not do?
I mean, when we looked at this Players League in the first week, I thought it was just going to be offense. I mean, Tux Bear is showing exactly what a solid defense can do to you. They're going to try and at least kind of stack that back wall, and then they're going to push Henry forward. That's a solid gain. 2nd and 5. And I think the key thing right now for Minifish just needs to kind of slow down. I mean, obviously take for your players what you can, but don't do anything too errant. Looks like they're going to just kind of go stock standard, get Henry straight up the middle, and they find themselves a gap just going to be a little short.
Here's what you got to do. You got to establish and how cliche is this, right? You hear it in every broadcast in the NFL, It feels like. Establish the run, it'll open up the pass. And literally that works with the AIs on the defensive side, too. It's not just been user picks. It has been just trying to force it in there. But that one, you thought Henry had a little bit more space than they were given. And then now it'll be 4th and 1 instead.
He kind of vacuumed over to the linebacker, I'm not going to lie. There was definitely a tiny gap. If he had been able to lean left, then maybe we would be talking differently. And this is also a kind of a feeling of need because it's a 4th and 1. Give it to the man in the backfield, but that's a long developing play, and that's exactly what's going to happen. A turnover on downs. you give that to have to go over to Henry, and there's just so much space for him to have to make up, and he doesn't gain speed too quickly, so this will go right over to Tuxbear, and he's going to try and make another campaign out of it, and it could be very short as they get pushed so close to the end zone.
I thought he fell in, but not quite. He'll still be first and goal from the 1, and Tuxbear doing just everything right at this point in time. Just waits for the break in coverage between the two zone members, just hits it in stride, and a perfect job to get down to the 1, and then the sneak in from Goff again. 27-0 now.
This is systematic, Bear. I feel like I am actually watching the Lions before they completely fell apart in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is how you do very high level and very standard methodical play calling in any level of football. I love what we're getting out of Tuxbear. He is not leaving anything to question, and is also basically challenging not just Minifish, but the entirety of Southwest, saying, yo, I'm going to be Bayport's rep. You're going to have to walk through me. This is going to be tough for you.
Come at me. You know, it's honestly, I'm wondering if Tuxbear, were they the high school that had the commercial with the, what was it, the bow tie guy? Because now I'm thinking like Tuxbear bow tie. Random thought, I get it, but I'm just like, I'm thinking he shows up in like this tux, right? And just like, yo, challenge me. You know what I'm saying?
I really do hope that actually happens. Do you think he like has one of those jackets, but he's actually embroidered a big bear on the back?
Yes.
Of it?
Oh, he better. He better.
Or just a bear suit. It's not even like anything over the top and down into at least the grass. That one, a wild swing for the fences, just trying to get something to happen.
Was that Robertson again? I'm pretty sure it was.
It was.
Don't-
He's looking for a third.
Don't challenge the same guy. You got to at least challenge the other side of the field. Maybe find Zay Flowers. Maybe find Isaiah Likely on an out route. Find something else. You got to just give it a little bit of variety here. Or if you're Minifish, we'll see if they get it done. I mean, they're just literally one touchdown away from the mercy rule in the first half. So looking to keep themselves from that edge of the sword. That one's going to be pass play across the middle once again into double coverage and just barely dropped. Although that one almost landed somehow in that tight window, but a dangerous place to put that ball.
I mean, because you had that very quick drag that was happening, like right from off of the slot, and then they were moving across literally the line to gain. You have him stand in the pocket. That's a fantastic pickup by Flowers. He's able to shed one. But you have a follow-up as he slowed down to be able to get him down. So finally, some very positive yards, and he's in Lions territory.
The first down. Yeah, you heard it right. From Minifish here is going to be with 2 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first half after the turnovers to forget. And now holds on the ball a little bit too long. The pressure will get to Jackson again. He did get it off, so it'll be 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 14. But still nothing really positive to pull out of this drive except for that first down.
Yeah, I hold my breath a little bit whenever I see the I guess it would be a forward pass, but having the ball float around the head level of linemen, because that thing's basically a jump ball. Anyone's going to be going for it. And so luckily, everyone has bricks for hands in that area, just in the trenches. So as we go to 2nd and 10, he's going to give himself some more space. Drop back. Henry's going to actually be open, and he falls into a quartet of defenders. But that's a second first down for Minifish. He's trying to get something before the half closes out.
Anything, really. You know, you want to find something. 1st and 10. 2 minutes warning here upon us. And finally a drive from Minifish. They want to be able to punch it in. 3 will not do. You need 6 at the very least. And that one's going to be over the middle to Henry. So finds a short pass. That one will be able to pick up 7, and now a 2nd and 3 from the 17.
I don't mind it. You know, we were talking about how a lot of there's some players that don't kind of traditionally use Henry as a running guy. They just kind of get him out and open. And I mean, that's fair. He's got soft hands, and he's got the right way to be able to kind of dance up. You're going to have them come up short. It's a 4-down territory situation. They're going to burn through all of this clock and try and deny Tuxbear anything, but they got to assure themselves at least a score of some kind. So they're going to stretch this one a bit wider as they get the tight end involved, and it is traffic bonanza, but a first down it will still be.
You throw all those big bodies out in front, then you have Henry, who's a big body in his own regards. Even if they break through, you're going to be able to kind of punch that one for a first down. Plus, I like the decision-making from Minifish as well to take time off this clock before the first half finishes. This has been clinical from him, and a great decision. What a broken tackle there, too. So they'll pull it back within 3 scores.
Good old Bo. You saw the everyone get marked up. All the linemen and the pull that happened. I think that was off of the left side guard, or actually the right side guard. And so he extended that outside right of the hash. That was such a great play call, and not having to pull it too close to the line. Already going for 2. I don't mind it. Why not? This is going to be good old smash mouth football, going deep in the trench. Can I get it from Henry? Well, he's going to go over and down. Going to come up short of 2.
Yeah, just, I mean, you got a touchdown. That was definitely a step in the right direction here. Obviously, you can hit 2-point conversions in the future to try to gain yourself back into this game when you get there. But it's all about getting touchdowns first to really kind of cut into this big lead established by Tuxbear here in the first half. But the thing is, did you run enough clock out? Because we've seen Tuxbear score in much less time than a minute and 5 in that first quarter.
Yeah, about what? He's averaging around 4 plays or so to really get a score. Laporta's going to get their number called, and that's actually the first time today. I think the big man has actually found them their way through, because we've had a lot of Williams, we've had a lot of Montgomery, kind of your key names that really show up. Second down. Actually, a 1st and 10 after that big pickup. That's going to go over to Williams. Guess who? And he can't quite tightrope, but he does grab another set of downs.
Yeah, he does, and his eyes are just down the field and finding perfect targets. These are ones that are your second or third reads that we've seen sometimes. Like, that was just, I need to get rid of it. Found Jamison Williams wide open there on the side. So, excellent reads, and again, just a tightrope. We'll find it through a first down here.
Wow. St. Brown comes up. That was just high enough to be able to get it beyond that defender. That it was basically just kind of just a seam over. So job well done. They're going to use a timeout. You got 2 remaining. They've been working this field very, very well, from going out to the flats and then coming inside where none of that is expected. They're going to try and pull Smith over, thinking that there's going to be another one kind of matching up with them. They actually shadow Montgomery, and Montgomery's going to use some extra time, but they at least gain some ground. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, I believe they got out of bounds too, so that'll stop the clock, give them a few more shots here. So, 4th down territory at this point, because you could just, regain that lead back to it, and you feel very confident about how your offense is played. So now they have Gibbs in the backfield. I'll be first one a few times at least that we've seen them out on the field. That's a good cutback too, and does not quite gain as much as they wanted to. It'll be 3rd and 2 instead.
Gibbs is kind of your speed guy, and we're getting another timeout, so this clock will stop. 20 seconds to go. 3rd and 2. Plenty of time, plenty of space for this to work here for Tuxbear. Be able to get this chunk clock, and he can get a first down. He's going to just go straight up power. You got both Gibbs. Oh, and they go for 4th. Okay, so that will force them to take a timeout unless they're immediately going to go down into a stance. So I wonder how this one's going to pan out. It's got to be another sneak, right? And then they immediately call a timeout. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to go right for it.
Or not.
They will eventually. Yep, they will run the clock down to 2 seconds left before that timeout will be taken here at 4th and inches. And field goal will be the play here, so they'll look to extend it to 31-6 with a chip shot here at this point in time, and they do just before the first half.
All right, so laying off the pedal for all of a second is Tuxbear, but not after running over Minifish's femur, trying to test the strength of that bone and seeing if he'll ruin that career, because 31 points in the first half, 28 points before we saw an answer bear. There's a lot of work to be done here for Minifish if they really want to maintain a perfect season, and they're not going to be the ones that are getting the ball back.
No, it's Tuxbear, and he will have full control and a chance to hit the mercy rule on the first possession here again. So he's just constantly on it, knows what he's doing at the end of the second half to put himself in the driver's seat and perhaps control the rest of this game. So opportunity here on this 1st and 10 from his own 31, so that's still decent field position off this start. He'll be to Montgomery again off the left side, seeing that 20 just out of the hands of a diving tackler, and will get a gain of 8 to make it 2nd and 2.
You know, I've done that diving tackle a few times before. Messed up my finger whenever I did it. But it feels more automatic in Madden than in, when I try to do it in just kind of backyard football.
Right.
Smash mouth football here for Montgomery as he receives a few Ravens that don't like him too much.
No, not quite. I don't like that description of your finger. It wasn't sideways, was it?
Oh, it's backwards.
Oh, yeah. That's not great. Yeah.
I'll show you later.
Yeah, no, thanks. I'm all good. I'm all set.
Screenplay. Oof, what a cut! Oh my goodness. Look, there's been something that, I mean, maybe they're just addicted to like kind of the side jump play, but it's been done almost as a masterclass by Tuxbear to gain, I think, like 3 to 5 yards at a time when they make that move.
And those little yards can really make a difference, right? It could be a difference between a first down and be able to keep a drive going, and when you're stuck in like a fourth down situation, which Tux Bear's been in that situation before. Many Fish has been as well, and unfortunately gave up a fourth down possession too to add to the turnovers that have happened in the first half. But that just shows just the devil's in the details right now. Tux Bear has been great. There's Jamison Williams again, one of the favorite targets of the first half. Will reemerge here in the second half to make it 2nd and 1.
Just grinding this clock to, well, not even a halt. They are actually putting this one with some no explode, and it is speed expeditiously. Mad speed is grinding down, and that's not something that you want to see if you're mini fish. You need to get as many chances of this ball as possible, and the entire first half of the second half in this quarter has belonged over towards him. Oh, what a spin move. St. Brown on an island is breaking axles and ankles, and he has a man keyed up for the block, and he falls into the end zone. Oh my Lord, what a run, what a play.
Fantastic from start to finish, and this one should end it as well with a statement piece. You wanted to come out here and make a name for yourself, Tux Bear, and you've done exactly that. Great pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then that spin move there, insane move to get the defender off of you, open space where Amon-Ra St. Brown absolutely thrives. Knowing your team, executing to perfection at this point in time, and Tux Bear will come away with this victory here today, by the way.
Dr. McNasty putting just a showcase of skills, strutting their stuff out on the catwalk. Now up by 32. Because they didn't get that touchdown before the half there, Bear, he's still available to play. This one is tough if you're mini fish. So we're not quite at the mercy rule as of yet, but we're very, very, very darn close. And mini fish, I mean, the mental's got to be boomed, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not your week. And, this is just, it's tough too, because now you're going to probably, inevitably, it feels like at this point in time, fall down to the one-loss crew. And I don't know if I like your chances among like 4 different individuals who certainly have a name for yourself too. They're going to try to challenge it downfield, just desperation here at that point. Almost picked off, almost giving possession back for Tux Bear, who wants to finish the job here and now.
Just chucking it yard. You know what? Just putting Jackson's strength on display. That arm just to be able to boom cannon all the way down the field. He's gonna see what options he has. Well, guess what? He is met by a couple of angry lions that are swarming into their den, and they're gonna turn this into a 3rd and 17.
Yeah, the only options I saw was it going to be the left defensive tackle, the right defensive tackle to make that sack. That was the options. Jackson back now, better protection here. Still going to bomb it up high. That's going to be intercepted as well. That's going to be the 5th interception that we've seen already. And Melifonwu is the one to bring it in. And now you see a chance for Tux Bear to close out.
I think that's the first time we've ever seen Melifonwu make a play. Not gonna lie, not to throw shade. Just that kind of a tongue twister to have them out there. So as we go deep down the depth chart, everyone's getting a chance to kind of be out here. That's going to be a big pickup there by Montgomery. He was expecting to have to cut. Didn't even have to do anything. He will fall around that 21-yard line. What a great early run.
Yeah, it's feeling like it's their opportunity here and now. Tux Bear just to add injury to insult and really start to pour it on. Here's Gibbs outside, but he will be tracked down. Many Fish holding on to that little bit of life they still have left with a big defensive play there to tackle him behind the line of scrimmage here for 2nd and 13.
You get a single field goal and you mercy him, but this is all about making a statement that Tux Bear wants to be the Bayport hero. They definitely have. They made a statement that if it was mini fish and if this already was the regional, that he has already just kind of slapped them down a notch. 5-0, and we go through 3, and all of them so far have been won by the Lions of Tux Bear. You have a 4th quarter and a last gasp of life left for mini fish and their Ravens. What in the world can they do? And, if they inevitably Bear fall into that, 1-loss club, I wonder what comes out on the other side.
Yeah, that's going to be a shakeup that will leave to the admins for sure. I don't want to be a part of that one. Open, wide open, touchdown. Mercy roll we go. Tuxbear, your winner over Minifish today. As you saw the tail end of that one, they said we're done. Tuxbear, congratulations.
Congrats over to Tux Bear. They will advance to 5-2 for Bayport High School. Truly the top of the rock of that mountain over in Green Bay. And I think a statement has just been made here, Bear. When we talk about the standings for Green Bay, this has been a very, very competitive region overall. Tux Bear, we had some questions of, all right, is Bayport simply the dirtier side, another half of the coin that is this Green Bay region? Tux Bear rose to the challenge, has really been making strides, and I gotta wonder, can anyone out of Southwest now be able to catch up to their masterclass of play calling from that side of things?
It's going to be tough. Obviously, when we talk about it, Tux Bear had 2 losses, so I wonder if that will play a factor as far as, who they're going to send at the end of the day from that Green Bay Southwest side to really take on somebody like Tux Bear at this point in time. Just incredible story that he's been able to put together, and certainly is going to be the hero. All the rest of the players, and I'm sure even others in the high school are like, this kid is something special here. He's been fantastic, no doubt about it. Well, listen, that was the end of the 6 o'clock block, but we have another featured match on the other side of this break, so don't go anywhere. You're watching the Players League on the Stay Plugged In Network.
switched to Brightspeed fiber internet, things like slow speeds and random dead spots really brought out the troll in me. I mean, I spent hours causing trouble. But then I switched to Brightspeed's fast, reliable fiber internet, and the rest is sunshine and unicorns. Looks amazing, Barbara.
Ultra-fast, Brightspeed fiber internet. Switch to the bright side.
Monkey Man and Bear Light back with you here in the Players League. And Monkey Man, what time is it?
It's 7 o'clock block time.
Let's get it. All right, matchup time we go. It'll be from the Green Bay region as well. Wild card. Madden season that hasn't been great, I'll be honest, but they've been improving along the way. Their stem side has been fantastic. Love that kid. I'll be up against Lightbeat today.
Light B is one of those one-loss professors that is hanging out at the top 3 in their conference or in Southwest. So you look at wild card and you see the negative 148 and you're like, yeah, that's not exactly great. But we have seen them make some strides. And so we'll get to see how long this one lasts. Light B, they're actually -1, which is kind of a more lopsided stat line than I had actually thought of. So as they are at 4-1, they just saw the player that was heading their high school drop from 5-0 to 5-1. They have a chance to leap up there and have a chance at this conversation of representing Southwest.
Yeah, absolutely. Through 5 games, 117 points on the board. They've allowed quite a few, but their offense is dynamic. It's on paper a one-sided tilt, but Monkey Man Wild Card has an opportunity to maybe surprise some of us here. Obviously, when you play and have more games under your belt here on the Madden side, there's only one way to find out, and that's by sending the games. So, Blaski, let's get into it now.
Ooh, you got the Bucks. All right, I'm down. If Wild Card's got the Bucks, then I got Wild Card. All right, is he gonna make him draw 4? We're gonna make him draw for later. You know, actually, I need to know, Bearlight, in your house, do you, if you play a plus or draw 2 on top of a draw 2, does it become a draw 4? What's your house rules?
So it's funny. Me, no. My wife, yes. So
okay.
yeah, I'm like, that's not how it's in the rule set. I'm like, actually, if you refer to like rule 7.5, you'll see that.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So I play by the correct rules.
Oh, the rules lawyer. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
You're fun at parties. Actually, you probably are fun. Producer Plasky. You guys do not know what we just saw, but we're getting Auden that's able to make that first grab, and that's going to be a 1st and 10 the first 5 seconds. That needs to be included somewhere later in a highlight. I love that.
Oh man, based on wild card in his name, maybe it's a draw 6 at this point. Maybe you can stack 3 or draw 2s and make a draw 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this I remember, and this is an unfortunate memory for Wildcard. Week 1, they were up 20-6, and they then got beat 50-20. So I'm praying that doesn't happen tonight. They've had a good first start. They did just get sacked on first down. 2nd 18, you got to get that ball out of Mayfield's hands.
Yeah, you have to be able to react quickly, especially with the defense we've been talking about from the Lions that are very much that play. But look, as a good gain here from Bucky Irving, it looks like, up the middle. So they will get just 1 here. So 3rd and 9, 1 netted yards over the past couple of plays here.
They're going 5. If they're going 4 down, you got the 1 up D end, and actually it's Campbell's going to be stacking that box. So if they try to move anything within this this tight corridor, you're going to be met immediately by a defender. So as I make a few audibles, and we'll go over to Irving. That was a very ambitious call, to say the least. They will come up short on the plus side of things on that 48. So got to be figuring out what they're going to do here early. Do they go for that punt, or do they go for it?
Yeah, it's with a 4th and 3 here. The passing play last time got shut down pretty big. Your running play was finding success. I honestly, your name is Wildcard. You're going to go right back out here and in a running formation, 2, to try to pick up 3. They're going to try to just jam it down the throats, but look as the defense is ready for it here, too. But a great play fake. They'll go over the top, but it's in double coverage. It was 4th down anyways, so basically at this point, a punt. As Joseph pulls in the interception, we'll bring it back. But Wildcard, certainly staying true to the name, and when you're in a matchup like this, you want to be able to take chances. Just didn't work this time.
He sold that RPO just so well because it looked like they were going to be daggering that to the outside left, and then when they spun away and bootlegged, they actually had a couple of options to get that much more towards the stick to gain, and unfortunately they just couldn't grab it. Montgomery, well, you've seen him a lot in silver. How about black? As we see the blackout out of the Lions this time, Light B in control.
I have a feeling this is going to be a very Montgomery heavy, Lions heavy specifically type of night, especially if things continue in the same trend. As Goff will be back, there'll be drop off to Gibbs. Had room, but unfortunately stumbled when he got that catch, and so the defense was able to track him down, and wild card will stop him for no gain at all.
Trying to be able to kind of stop and just see if the defender goes flying by it. Did not happen. They got a man out left. They will try to be able to dart it over the middle, and again, knocked it out of his hands. Jameson Williams, usually so sure-handed, but that was a hard collision.
Yeah, and I think, it's been just offensive back and forth. It's barn burners for Light B when we talk about his stats. Wild card, I don't know if you remember, but in that week 1, we saw him also come up with, I think, 4 or 5 different interceptions. So his defense has never truly been a concern. So I love seeing them come out and be able to put on this pressure. Interception, Brett, plenty of room ahead of them too. And wild card will have a lead as he takes it to the house.
The man ain't got no wins yet, but he's got the lead right now. That is a huge pick 6 as they're able to make the read. Psychic crystal ball style. Stole that one away from Goff as quick as he threw it.
I call him wild card for a reason. I will not sit here and say that I thought wild card would have the lead, especially the way that Lightby was putting on that offense. I thought, they had lots of options to go down the field. They were gaining yardage, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to convert. And that decision out in the flats, guarded to a T there from wild card. I talked about his defense being certainly the strong suit of his package that he brings in, and we saw a prime example of exactly that.
Massive. That is the kind of play that, you've not had the season that you wish you could have, but you've been learning. You've been able to provide some great production and progress on the STEM side. Well, why not have that on the esports side? Job well done, at least for that first, but it's going to be Light B. It'll feel like, okay, just a little stumble. They get the ball back pretty quick after that pick 6, so they're going to go right back to, seeing what they can get downfield.
Momentum is a big thing in this game, though. You don't want to take chances, and they do. And again, McCollum comes up with this one. Back-to-back interception. Fumble, and recovered again. Light B will get it directly back. Oh, my goodness, a roller coaster of the last maybe 30 seconds that we've seen.
My hands, I don't know where to put them. They've been on my forehead, the back of my head. They're everywhere. They're floating in the space. And same thing for the defender. That's exactly why defenders are defenders. They knock the ball down. They go for interceptions, but then they get knocked loose. That one lineman better get a bonus check from this game, Bear. If he had not slowed him down, McCollum might have opened up another 6.
Well, typically you don't get a first down by losing 20 yards, but that's what we got there. Montgomery's going to go up the middle here and gain another first down. So in the more traditional sense, and after all is said and done, it'll be back to where we started just a couple plays ago.
Chaos. Goff's going to have to roll out. He's getting tracked down. He's going to throw it away. A very smart move, considering that they backed their way up all the way into the right side of their pocket, and they really had no outlets that were on that side of the field. So 2nd and 10. A lot of damage done. They're going to go for twins out. They're going to have one-man option. They're going to give it right over to Gibbs. That's the first time that he's picked it up. Oh, great use of the block. But they pull the player away. He's going to have no one left in front of him, and that's going to be tying up the game, barring the PAT.
Great patience to stay behind the blocker. Even when you're Gibbs, right? You have so much speed. You want to be able to tuck down, break into the inside, and that's exactly what they did. And then once you get out in space and the defender misses and allows you that space, Gibbs will finish every single time. And it should be a tie ball game after this extra point. And it does go through for them. So 7 apiece here with 1:37 left in the first quarter.
There is nothing more fulfilling as a former lineman, and when I got to play and whenever I get to see people play, than being able to see your key block, even just like being in the way of someone else, open up a lane. It is so fulfilling. It is such a maturation point as well. Whenever you get the runner be able to kind of have that kind of trust. Now, obviously, we're in simulation game types, but still, that's pretty great. But we go over a wild card. Maybe get themselves some solid offense that was happening within their regular campaign set. But, you know, last time around, I think it was an INT that ended up being like a pseudo punt, right?
Yeah. That's right. We've seen it both ways, so we'll see if Wildcard can get back to it. I think it was on 4th down regardless, and that one batted down as well. You see the AI really bites onto the balls and almost locks onto him defensively. That's that momentum in-game, built in quite literally, that I'm talking about. And that's happened to both sides already here in just the first quarter.
I thought that was a push-off. Not going to lie. I thought we were going to get defensive pass interference. That's going to be Mayfield taking down, a huge loss. Get the special teams out there. That's got to be a punt. Send it away. Ain't no way that this is going to be anything else. So, yeah, use the foot and give yourself some ground, because that was a huge stop, especially for Lightby, who has now seen themselves needing to find answers. But what a tackle by Hayes to keep that one from going anywhere.
Yeah, you had plenty of room. It looked like there's a bit of a, you know, the catch wasn't as clean maybe as I thought it was going to be, and they had extra space, but still an open field tackle nonetheless. But a first down, and now right back to Gibbs. Waits for that blocker, but this time he's going to be tracked down from the backside. Otherwise, that might have been another big play.
There is a love connection between Gibbs and his right guard and tackle that is just forming in such a beautiful fashion. Going to try and give it over to Montgomery this time. You have the linebacker that goes at the ankles. He's able to just get through that, and another set of downs and fresh set of sticks put on the old sideline. 1st and 10.
You went down early here in this one. Definitely did not hang the head here. Lightby has been lights on for sure as far as decision making goes. After that first interception, pick 6, it certainly woke him right up. And Goff's being chased down already. He's going to just send it and try to just get rid of it. Another dangerous play to that left side flat that we've seen before.
Yeah, that was a dangerous one. You see him throw across his body from right to left, and that really just kind of daggered across a very tumultuous zone. Montgomery, that's a Texas-sized gap. He ends up running a bit sideways, still got the line to gain. So we're hitting the ground game, and it's working out. They go no huddle, immediately trying to run maybe one more before the quarter ends. They will do so. Dropping back, got a chance. Triple coverage, find it to the outside, and Laporta, just as the quarter turns over, will be in big positive territory.
Had a wide open man over the middle, but it would have been shorter distance, so very much a risky move to go out there and hit Laporta, especially with how many defenders were there, but a great decision to pull it in, or at least execution to pull it in, that is. 7-7 after 1. I'll tell you what, it was way more active than the score might show you there, as we had plenty of defensive plays. Yes, that's why we are low scored, but just so many opportunities from both of these teams, and right back out. Lightby's got a little bit of space there, but runs in the middle linebacker. So he'll only pick up 6, but it's still a big chunk on a first down.
I'm gonna need a neck brace for all the whiplash that we had in the first quarter. Someone strap me in. It's like I'm trying to hang on in a rally car and not lose my bearings. So again, great just running overall right now by Lightby. He recognizes that it doesn't have to just be Goff stand up, and especially Goff a few times that he has stood up in that pocket there, Bear. He's had to deal with a lot of pressure. So if you can give it over to Montgomery, give it to Gibbs, and just really kind of trust in your play calling for your run blocking, you're going to be in a good position. So 2nd and 4. Already got a good gain. Looks like they're going to try and test the middle one more time.
The middle to go. It'll be Montgomery. Again, that middle linebacker has been very busy in all the right ways there for a wild card, as they're able to tackle them down before they get the line to gain. It'll be 3rd and 2 now. They hit off back to Montgomery, and now open space right side, but cut it back a little bit too much towards the middle, where that middle linebacker does even more work here. It'll be 1st and goal.
It looked like he was trying to protect the ball. He was just hugging over it, making sure that it wouldn't get knocked out. You know what? Sure thing. Goff going to try and just wind up. They cannot get handles onto it, and they were in the back of the end zone. So a sigh of relief for the moment here for wild cards. We go to 2nd and goal without a score already here by Lightby.
Lightby will have plenty more chances to punch this one in, but that one feels bad because it was almost like it was not user error. Like I feel like that pass, based on what I saw, was just targeting without, you know, being too crazy with where he was putting that ball. But now they have another opportunity. Gives it the middle, touchdown. And once more, 13-7. Now for Lightby.
At this point, you got to put get your linebacker, the middle linebacker, to just be keyed up over the zone. Just wait for them, because they've been freed up. It has been such just masterclass blocking out of the guards and the center. to open up those A gaps. Nothing has been of issue, and this really wide open running for both Gibbs and Montgomery. So with a PAT good to go, now it's going to be finally a change of the lead for as Light B will be sending back to Wildcard.
Wildcard got the lead, but it was a matter of can he hold on to it. Unfortunately, it is gone by the wayside, but he is only down 7 and will have possession back here as well with 3:36 left in the first half. And Mayfield, you love seeing his just dedication, wild card that is to the Bucks. But Mayfield back in the shotgun, has 3 out wide, but couldn't quite find a target. I like the move because it was dangerous no matter where you went, but you hold on it too long, and the Lions defense will find a way to get to you.
Mayfield's an efficiency style QB, but he also likes to get scrappy, and he can kind of run out of the pocket. I don't want that to be ignored, but it just took too long to develop. Your guard basically full on lost that fight against the nose guard, and that did not recover anything. So we're to 3rd and 16. And if you're wild card, you do not want this to be a 3-and-out.
No doubt about it. You got to utilize your weapons correctly. That one was Evans over the middle for a short pass, and that one just obviously in line of disaster. Branch picks that one off easily. Light B will have a presence. Not very much one easier than the one they just had.
Triple coverage, ain't it? That is not where you throw that ball. You actually had someone that was literally about to cross over the hash, and you had someone that was, and that they were going to be free because the linebacker was trailing after the right side slot receiver, and they threw it into all of the traffic. Not where you want to go. A delay, and then Gibbs. Oh boy, Gibbs has been just so sure-footed and able to gain so much already. 2nd and 1.
The thing about Gibbs is they're like, oh, you can run him outside because he's not big, but he's very fast, But, interception. Here you go. David, right back to it. So wild card, keeping himself alive. I mean, he's only down a touchdown regardless of everything that's been developing here. A big defensive play again by another linebacker.
Yeah, I'm not going to harp on him too hard. I just make sure, all right, a little bit of goldfish memory, but remember what you did. And make sure not to give yourself a tiny bit of patience. It's that weird balance of being able to kind of handle it in your pocket. If you go under center, you better be ready for it as well. Irving, oh my goodness, thread the needle, and then it becomes a pushing challenge, a bit of rugby out there. 2nd and 1 for that run.
I want to see wild card on the ground consistently over and over again, and until Light B can show that they stopped you, because right now Bucky Irving has been, every play that they've had has had an impact play. You're picking up 4 yards, which isn't crazy, but you don't need to be crazy in this one possession game. But that will be a play fake. That'll open up a little bit of space in the 1v1 situation, but Mayfield tried to run it, and he ran right into some trouble there. A big hit. You got to keep him safe.
The problem with what was happening there, instead of them actually running with Mayfield, they were still shuffling as if they had, they were going to throw it because they were right behind that line to gain. So that's when you have to tuck it and run. Mayfield can't do that. It's a bit like going into a bar fight in Cleveland, shout out, but you got to be able to make it happen. Oh, the ball didn't come loose. I think it got recovered. What in the world? It's 4th and 1. That was just so close.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, very difficult to kind of swallow that one if that one gets turned over here in this moment, but still it might be because you're in this 4th and 1 situation. They line them all up, but so does the defense. They come out and they're going to be all out blitz, but do they know it? We'll see how they adjust here. Wild card on this 4th and 1. There was an audible, so they're going to play the play fake and try to toss it over the middle, but it's just batted down instead. They went to the lineman in that play.
Oh, I love the shift and I love the idea, but the dude does not have wheels. And he tried to go right where the one guy that was able to drop back was. If he had tossed that out right, oh my, so many options. I love that they are trying to open up the playbook here. And right is going left. Oh my God, violence.
Up in the air, probably not the play for a big guy, but he tried it and got blasted here. Shellacked. It'll be 1st and goal here from the 2-yard line. And with now David Montgomery in the backfield. Looks like they'll be shifting the play over. Not sure if they're going to stick with this run or not. So it's a bit of the other side equation. The dive does not get in. It'll be 2nd and goal from the half-yard line.
Tush push. Tush push. What are they going to do here? Oh, no, they're going to give it all the way back to him. That's dangerous. It doesn't matter. It has been so automatic every time. Go between the center and the guard, and there will be a mile-wide Grand Canyon-sized gap for them to score.
This is a game of inches, and when Wildcard gets that lead and could really hold on, I think it built their confidence. It really feels like they've been playing a really solid game against Lightbeat, but it does feel like it's almost like gravity. Like it's inevitable that Lightbeat, the way that they play, they've been methodic all year long. We see it come right back into the situation, and Lightbeat handles it to perfection. And you blink an eye, and they put on 21 straight points and now have the lead with 1:01 left on the clock. So if you're wild card, you feel like you have to score on this possession before the first half ends.
On the return is Sean Tucker. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Return was relatively short here. Second quarter, 57 seconds left of 1st and 10.
Got to just kind of stick to the game plan. It's not like they've struggled to at least move forward offensively, but there's been some times where that little wrinkle wasn't forming in the back of your mind. I love that they get ahead of the cornerback there. And the clock becomes a key here, Bear. You don't want to leave too much for Light be able to kind of come back at you, especially if a turnover does happen. But you got 3 timeouts. Can really work this field.
Got to make the right decisions, even if it's a dump off. That's a lot better than taking that risk. They're going to try to go over man-to-man coverage. See, I like that play just because it's one-on-one to Mike Evans, but you got to throw that ball high so you give him the best chance possible. That one batted down by an active Lions defense.
Yeah, that was too much on a line. That one has to be lofted, but that also gives the second kind of coverage player a chance to also drift backwards. So you're kind of in a weird position, especially with them out on an island. That's going to be behind them, and Joseph cuts down. He goes right over the middle logo, and he's going to just try and get around these big men. They are not known for their 40 times, but they do get a paw on them, and they'll be out of the 25.
Yeah, you get behind a little bit, and then you want to take risks, but the issue is now you pointed it out just a couple plays ago. You gave Lightbeat not only the ball back, but with 23 seconds left, a real opportunity to do damage and really make this a game out of reach before even all is said and done here in the first half. And they'll have it here at the 1st and 10 from the 25. Got back, now tries to squeeze it in, and another bat down by this active Bucks linebackers. I mean, if it wasn't for them, they might actually be down by a whole lot more.
Yeah, it's a tale of 2 different tapes. They're winning from the top of the box defensively, and then they can't get anything going from the offensive side. Oh, my goodness. Laporta, no one with them. Just a nation all his own in that top right corner, and it's Laporta that's king.
Wow, I mean, just in a blink of an eye. And we felt it coming to you just because the momentum has certainly switched, not only in-game, like I've been mentioning throughout the entirety of today, but also as far as the players that control these players on the field, right? I feel like Lightbeat is really starting to get to it. It might have been a little bit discouraging giving up that pick 6 early, but it certainly hasn't bothered them throughout the rest of this one. This one has gone basically how we might have expected it to go at this point in time, as they'll be up 28-7, it feels like, barring something crazy happening, which has happened in the first half, so I wouldn't leave it to being anything crazy.
I just hope that the crazy thing that happens isn't by wild card at this point in time in a negative sense. They need to go into that next half, and they got to find themselves a sense of calm and poise. This one may end up being no way they take a knee. They're gonna at least go for some positive yards, try and get this clock kind of ran down. They actually will bootleg away, and that's the difficult part. I am such a lover of bootleg plays. There's 2 big plays that I love in the playbook: scat plays where you pull both the guard and the tackle and you sweep it from left to right, or vice versa, and bootleg. But it's a long developing one, and with the way that this defensive line has been, you just can't get away from them.
Yeah, it's you have to think strategically from what's been presented to you defensively, and right now you haven't been given a lot of time, and also you haven't been able to find your receivers the way that you want to. Another opportunity for them to get another points on the board, but luckily the interception does not result in points, so it is a negative there at the end of this half here for a wild card, but it did not surrender points at the end of the day.
Yeah, so you go to halftime, you chuck the last one, you knew it was going to be an uphill battle, and if you throw it as far as you can and it gets intercepted, make sure you stop them when the clock then has struck 0. They will be giving the ball back over to Lightbeat, so could be worse, could be better. could be Light B that gets themselves up to 5-1. Remember, the conversation is that we just got to see Minifish fall to 5-1. If Light B lifts up to 5-1, I mean, what's going to be the chances? They could be the Southwest rep.
Yeah, there'll be along many members to try to kind of figure out who is going to make it at that point in time. I wonder what that conversation is like on the admin side. But there's Montgomery up the middle. Not a whole lot of room this time around. When the defense has needed to step up from wild card, it had been for the first quarter at the very least. But now they need a little bit more. But Jamison Williams is going to pick up the first down with ease there as they'll get all the way to the 45.
Heck of a string to be able to put that throw on. They're going to try and test that one again, but they're going to be sweeping everyone to the right. Quick run fake. Goff, he's uneven on that, and yet, oh, I thought he hauled it in. No, just a bit too far behind Laporta. Dude's been strong, but he ain't Gumby. He can't quite stretch back that far.
Nah, yeah, again, you've been able to spread out the ball pretty well. Laporta had a little bit of activity there at the tail end of that first half, rather. We'll see if they go back to him. This will be over to Gibbs out in definitely a catch, a ball catching back, and Gibbs able to get it outside and out of bounds there at the 34-yard line for 1st and 10 from here.
They were dragging everyone to the right. Don't know if you saw how all those routes were going. They're going to try and go right back to their bread and butter, and that's busting things up the middle. It feels like at least 3 or 4 separate times, Bear, that we've seen a first down become a second in either 1 or inches.
Just not being able to find the threshold, but they will on this play. I can see it opening up from the get-go. Left side, Montgomery picks up that first down almost to the red zone, just outside at the 21-yard line will be where Light B and these Lions will be from. As back of the shotgun, they've got Gibbs back with them. They will hand it off on that option play. Somehow Gibbs, a magician to get out of that play, out of that defensive stand. It'll be 2nd and 4, somehow created 6 out of nothing.
I think he had, Gibbs is actually down. We'll see if he comes back up. But I swear that he made that sidestep, and he had a one Bucks player tackle another Bucks player. That was fantastic footwork to be able to get away, especially considering that they were down upon him. Empty backfield, that means you got one extra man. Patrick catches it over the middle, and they're going to be at the 1st and goal around the 8-yard line. And it is as quick as it is. Right now, wild card with themselves against the ropes.
Yeah, and once more across the middle, almost picked off. But it'll be batted down regardless. Light B was almost giving wild card a chance to stay positive here in this one.
So close. To be able to get that touchback, that would be a huge win at this point for a wild card, just to get some level of control against Light B. And Light B, I mean, I like what they're going to be attacking. Actually, they decided to kind of just go man-to-man for a lot of these different routes. So a lot of posts. Oh, but that gives Izian a chance. He's going to be down in the end zone. Doesn't want to get back up. Going to bring this one away. So they had shifted away from what was 2 long crossing routes, like 15-yarders, to kind of go into the middle of that end zone. And then he decided to attack with a bunch of just kind of upright posts. And that isolated like 4 different lanes. But he went to one that had a man up.
I feel like you spoke it into existence. You saw it coming. Hey, if you get that touchback off an interception, you'll be good. And here we are. So now with Mayfield in the backfield, try to go over the middle again. And we've seen this so many times. Joseph basically acting as a center fielder at this point in time will secure another interception. And here we go again.
Tossing that one over to second base. Got that dead line. Everyone's going to be playing all alley-oop, but unfortunately Mayfield, that's not the kind of one that he's wanting. And what a jump that we've seen out of Joseph. That's 3 interceptions that have been working really, really well from the top of that coverage. So wild card, they wish they had this ball a lot longer. That's going to be a catch, 7 yards gain as they try to keep it in bounds, but it'll kind of tip his way out.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw him step out of bounds, which would have been incredible for the big guy. But it did look like he was tight-roping there for a sec. But they'll call him out of bounds after 7, like you mentioned. They go off back again. Looking around, not very many options, but tries to squeak it in. But Smith did a great job to jump that route because I thought he had Patrick over the middle for a touchdown. Instead, you've got Wildcard right back in possession.
Let's see. He started at the 20 because of the touchback. And then now he's at, around the 13? No, the 12th. So you're just a 1st and 10 with an 8-yard loss. But doesn't count. And so here we are. All right, wild card, none of that mattered. It was fine. So let's see what ends up happening. You do have Twins out kind of bunched left, which means they're trying to squeeze a lot of that coverage over to that box. You're going to have a chance to be able to get over to Evans. Ooh, that one looked like a horse collar. That was so close.
Yeah, I'm confused. I thought Mike Evans might have some space to just run away with that one. We know how fast he can be. And then he got caught. I skipped the replay. I was so excited to be able to see it, but I guess not. Must have been a horse collar because the way he went backwards did not look right, but he's still on the field. That's good news.
Yeah, maybe he was just clothesline, and it was just kind of one of those delays, being able to have it happen. So, going to shift everyone and make this much tighter line. So they're going to bring those linebackers. You actually see the user control one with Campbell over to the right. He's going to go over to the middle. Too much time. Use that close to the line. If you're not in shotgun, then you are susceptible to a very ornery defensive line.
Yeah, your defensive line and your safeties and quarterback play, your secondary really does play in tandem. If you're having success in the secondary, then it takes longer for you to make a decision. But this is a good decision to pull it down and run. But they did not slide, and how many times do we have to say it over the course of the season? You're going to pay for that. Did not slide in time. You give up the possession once more. Another turnover for Lightbeat.
Mayfield is 6'1", guys. These the average NFL player is like 7 foot tall. You gotta slide. You gotta get under because he's just a mini Titan. That one's a big pickup. Huge for Light B. What was looking daring, promising, and maybe a chance for a comeback. Well, the words have been cursed instead. That's a wide open man. Patrick, that's a second target in as many plays.
Yeah, and at that point in time, I thought I was going to punch it in. Might as well just go right back to it. Amon St. Brown has the opportunity as they're going to cross through, but Goff going to pull it down, tuck it and run, dive as well. But that one was just doomed from the get-go.
That is not what Goff should be doing. I've never seen Goff turn himself into a piñata like that. Don't do that. They're going to go to Montgomery instead, see if he can do the regular thing that a running back does, and that's get a running touchdown.
Yeah, Montgomery back at it again. We saw it so much in the 6 o'clock block. Here we go again in the 7 o'clock block for Lightby. He'll make it 34-7 here at this point, and they'll pull himself within one score of the mercy rule.
Get that on the PAT. So they've got 28 above. Remember, this game started with Wildcard getting that INT pick 6. It was an amazing moment. They had that lead. So briefly lived. Such rose-tinted glasses to the very start of our first half. And then the roller coaster of emotions. Imagine where we would be here, Bear, if that interception that Wildcard had made the second time around. You gotta move your deal. I bet he thought that he was in the end zone. He was fine, but no, he was a toe above.
Yeah, literally the 1 yard line, and might have been taken down there if somebody didn't nudge him on the shoulder. It seemed like they're like, hey, buddy, you gotta run with that one.
Go.
Yeah, you gotta go, man. Well, they go play action here, try to go across the field, and that one almost pulled in but dropped. And I don't know what it is about this matchup. Like, if you go up against Wildcard or if you are Wildcard, if it's a matchup that Wildcard is in, there are going to be at least 10 turnovers, and I'm pretty sure that's where we're at right now.
So we're going to need to bring up the counter next time around. You know, if we get to be able to see Wildcard play another day. I don't think it'll be in a regional. I don't think it'll be in a final. But I want to see it in another season of this, man. I would love to see Wildcard suddenly become just insane, just a monster. That's going to be a nice pickup by Godwin. Have not seen them targeted. And got to get more of them, honestly, in the mix.
Definitely. Yeah, you hated to see in real life that devastating injury to him late in the season. But make good use of him while he's in this Madden game. In the meantime, that was going to be a challenge. And he's open, caught as well. And unfortunately, it looks like his stick got caught to the right and wasn't able to get upfield in time, but still a big chunk play.
I think Wildcard was just as surprised that Godwin got that catch as I was. I swore if he was going to pull it in, he was going to fade out left. And I thought, honestly, that it was just going to be slung over the top. But Godwin, 2 catches in a row. Maybe he gets another, but Bucky Irving, he again is such a thin piece of paper fitting between his linemen and the defense. That is wild how he keeps slipping through him.
And I like how Wildcard is so fine-tuned with the movements to not make him cut, but instead just like trust even if you're going like shoulder to shoulder against a linebacker, that you're still going to somehow sneak through because you have that just little bit of maneuverability because you're so small. So great play from Wildcard. Has an opportunity to strike here too. Mayfield. It does not. He's going to put it straight up and a fumble again. Oh, I wanted to keep a straight face, but when you see the future, I mean, it's hard to do so.
You heard me. I'm like, please slide.
Please
just be on ground. Do not be running QB, please. Oh no. Oh, he just got. It was looking like the Fort Worth stockyards in the rodeo, just throwing a calf down and trying to rope him. Oh, unfortunate. What was looking so great. They're going to track down Goff. Goff is going to be inside the 5. He backed up any further. We could have had a safety.
Yeah, and a loss of 10 down to the 3s, so will make it difficult, no doubt about it. Man, whenever I see a quarterback run like that, I just imagine me in the lion's pit. Or like against a bull, I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. But look at Montgomery go. Oh, it's one tackle shed shy of a big play, maybe even a touchdown at this point in time to end things.
Could have gashed and gassed just to be able to run all the way out. Those are the most mentally booming plays there, Bear. I've been on the receiving end and on the giving end on some of those whenever I got to play football. You're down at like the 5-yard line. They're like, we've got them where we want them. And then you just run a play like either up the gut or just nearby the tackle, and it goes 95 yards. Those are punishing.
Speaking of punishing, Montgomery has been doing a great job to punish the defense, not only in this matchup, but in the 6 o'clock block. Goes back to it. Will be a 4th and 2 here. Light B's got a decision to make. Wants to try to end it here, and now stopping Montgomery, who's good for 2. And will get the first down just barely.
He's kind of swung the pigskin over the line to gain. He's just like, hey, take it. Come on, first down. And, hey, you know what? As we are in the preceding end of the middle to near the second half of the 4th quarter, it's starting to look a bit bleak here for Wildcard. Light B mounted to a full-fledged head of steam and control, especially with the way they established the ground game. And, I mean, this is a pretty able pocket. Williams will be able to find one. Trying to bring it back interior. Can't beat the bunch of them. That's a huge pickup.
And a 1st and 10, I formation this time around, but not before the 2-minute warning will hit. So, with that being said, a closeout, a victory lap here for Light B, who will move up to that 5-1 mark almost inevitably at this point in time. So we'll join the equation quite literally, as the admins will have to do some number crunching here at the end of the day based on all the results that we've had today. It's been an exciting one, to say the least. Very one-sided affairs, but still. Can they put it up here? No, another interception. The wild card special continues here in this one as Dean will pull it in, and wild card technically will keep himself alive with 1:50 left and a long way to go.
If we get to have Players League again, and if we get to see Wildcard back into it, I would love to see the progress of Wildcard, not only bringing their defense that obviously they're able to do with this kind of coverage, but also just wise decisions. I feel like some of that is just ball mechanics that then would be such a great progress to view over the course of this. Oh, Mayfield's running.
Slide.
Oh, I don't like it. And it's down again. No, baby, no. It's another turnover. Mayfield, why?
How many times, and then you're like, right, but like how many times before you're like, oh, maybe not again. The slide button is you have 4 buttons on your controller. There's the one on the left side of it, and you just tap it lightly. For all of you watching Madden out there, and it's, if ever a quarterback's running, God forbid it's, Baker Mayfield. It could be worse, but like it's still Baker Mayfield. You gotta slide. Otherwise, it's gonna be a fumble every single time. Literally every time. Like the game just does that. So.
I appreciate that Wild Card believes in Mayfield. I also believe in Mayfield. I know that he wants to be able to get into a fist fight with everyone. He is 195 pounds, 6'1". Dude barely exists against these giants out there. You just gotta go down. But you know what, Light B, they're giving it for the latter 70 seconds here of this game. This one was pretty well, rest assured. And at this point, I appreciate, both these players fighting to the very end. Can't quite get the Mercer rule off of it. And another interception. They keep picking them off from the middle of the field.
Yeah, the linebackers have been great. The reads have been good. The ways that they line up against this attack has been great. I just, I don't know what to believe here at this point in time. I don't know if this is like a red flag for Lightby, if this just shows how good Wildcard is defensively versus how much improvement is needed maybe on the offensive side of the ball. It's just, at this point in time, this cannot be a judgment, a measuring stick for either of these players, and it never can be when you're up against Wildcard. This is not the first occasion, once again. I know I keep harping on it, but it keeps happening. That's another interception. And we just keep going back and forth into this, what feels like purgatory at this point.
Yeah, and we saw that from week to week, and I feel like that's kind of been the mechanism of, all right, who comes out on the better percentage of some of these big takeaways. And at this point, they're kind of gunslinging this one downfield, just enjoying their final plays of the regular season. And it will come down to that conversation as well. Lightby will be part of a three-way tie between himself, Minifish, and Z-Dog to see who will be really topping out with Southwest here from Green Bay. Goff going sliding. That's how you do it. That's how you plant yourself down. And if they hit you when you go down, that's a free flag.
That's true. And sometimes even if they don't hit you these days. But
shout out KC.
Exactly. I digress. It's Goff outside. It's got Jamison Williams. And why not the mercy rule with just 30 seconds left on the clock? 41-7 will be the final in this one is Light B. It feels like light work. Actually, no, it doesn't. I mean, there's so much defense that happened between both of these teams, but Light B will be the victor at the end of the day.
30 seconds to go. You know what? With a lot of players that have not been able to dodge mercy rules, that's a heck of a fight for a player to be able to bring in. So as we go to it, that'll be where it stands, as the score will be Lightby bringing it over Wildcard. Congratulations, as they will win our last marquee matchup of the regular season. Lightby, there was no question here, Bear, except for the very start of that quarter. But ever since we got off that roller coaster ride, it's been all B all the time.
Yeah, I mean, they woke up after that point in time and put on a show for us at the end of the day. So, shout out to Light Bear again. You know what I mean? Bear Light. From both sides. You love to see it. Well, that means that we have our results for the rest of the season. So let's go ahead and check out the standings now. The overall from everybody here. The overall standings here will show from the Houston region. That Boogie at the top of it with the 3-3 mark, and Sully at the 5-0 mark as well. So that being said, we talked about how Houston was going to be a close one, but Sully Monster held strong now at 5-0.
Wow. Okay. So we will have an undefeated representative from at least one of these schools. So Woodlands Christian out of Houston will be bringing Sully Monster, and they'll be facing off against Stafford High School Boogie. So that maybe Boogie's the Boogie Monster to try and take down Sully, but undefeated. I didn't think anyone would be making it out of this this system with a flawless record.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's go ahead and check out the Carolina region as well and see who made it up on top. I have this funny feeling that King Mode's going to be on one side of it, but they did drop a game, though, and Hex Via is on the other side of it, too. So nice little balanced breakfast, if you will, from the Carolina region.
Yeah, as defeated as they are undefeated. Poor play like a Raven. They must have played like someone else as they went 0-6. But Hex Viaz topping out on their side for T. Wingate Andrews, so they're 5-1. They'll be facing off against King Mode, 2-1 from Kearns Academy. That'll be a fantastic matchup, and King Mode feels like kind of untested to a degree. I want to see if Hexa really brings the heat into their matchup.
Bringing the heat all season long has been the Green Bay region as well, as we check out their standings in addition to this, and we just got to see the wrap-up. So in Green Bay, Tugs Bear, we mentioned they're basically a shoo-in, especially after that win a little bit early on the 6 o'clock block. Minifish, Light B. At that 5-1 mark, we got Z-Dog at the 4-1 mark as well. So a lot of one-loss teams. You mentioned it. There's 4 students at that level right now.
Yeah, that's a huge conversation. I feel like there's still some talks that we've actually been going across with the admins. They're going to be figuring out exactly who's going to be repping with that. So that's going to be really, really neat. Tux Bear, I think that you and I can be the most impressed with where they kind of stand. Also, shout out to Cheese, by the way, 2-5.
Let's go.
Let's go, Cheese.
This bad week, we were cheering for it. It got second from their high school. I told you it was not going to be.
Let's go.
You can't be that unlucky for that long, because Cheese had quite the season if we do Players League again and these schools are available for the Madden side, I really want to see Cheese in that next season. I really think that things could get just a little bit different. They would be in the conversation. So let's go ahead and go through the matchups here, the official ones. We got to see ones that are a little bit more obvious, starting with the Houston side here, Monkey.
All right, so from Houston, Boogie and Sully Monster. Boogie was able to get to even 500 out of Stafford. They'll be facing off against Sully Monster, who is just perfect. 5-0 out of Woodlands Christian. That one will be your Houston regional. So that's gonna be a really tough matchup for Boogie, and I feel like Sully Monster, they're gonna try and stay that glorious shining 5 and perfect as long as they can.
In the Carolina regions, we already talked about this matchup as well, where King Mode will be going up against Hex V as maybe one of the most anticipated matchups that we're going to see between these one-loss teams.
Yeah, this Hex Viaz, I feel like, just a tiny blemish just to kind of remind you that you are mortal. King Mode, we've been talking about their state prodigiousness, their like how high they up in like state rankings, not just high school rankings. So he drops one just to kind of keep himself groovy. He's still progressing, but that'll be a very key Panther-sized matchup for the Carolinas.
And if you're tuned in now, I want to hear a drum roll, please, because we have no idea who's going to be on the Green Bay side until we show it. So we've got Z-Dog is going to get the tilt against Tux Bear.
What? Okay, well, all right, so I'm checking my notes. Apparently, the way that this kind of all rocked in, so Tux Bear, obviously, congratulations, 5-2 out of Bayport. That one was our given. And right behind him, second place is Cheese. Let's go, woo! But Z-Dog apparently had some of that love that was nodded from his teammates. So, wow, all right. That's going to be an interesting storyline here, Bear. And that one was the one we saw last week that was so close. Wasn't that a 4-point game?
Yeah, that's right. It was very close, down to the wire. Tux Bear versus Z-Dog. And Z-Dog, from coach and players' quotes, was Z-Dog has the best chance to win this game because of how close that matchup was last week. So that's why from the Green Bay Southwest High School side of things, for the regional finals will be Z-Dog facing off with Tux Bear in a Week 7 rematch.
That's going to be wild. Cannot wait to see all three of these go down. We already have as well the automatic bid that's coming out of the New England area, as I believe, okay, I'm going to say the name and I pray that it's correct. It was a forfeiture win, but Yadix from out of Hartford Public is able to take it over SMSA. So they will be moving through your New England region. And so they're going to be waiting on their opponent to come out of their cross-regional before we go to divisional rounds. And so, you know what? Yadix is kind of waiting on the sideline as we get to see all those other regions of bout it out.
Yeah, well, we grab your marshmallows, grab your graham crackers, because we're going to have a little bit of a fireside chat now about the finals, STEM side and Madden side, all happening next week. Can you believe it's already here, Monkey?
2 months, man. Like, you get to see esports happen, you get to see STEM happen. It feels like it is just a full slate all the time. But you guys, you've been looking for this the entire time. So it is gonna be at the NFL draft from Thursday to Saturday. The Players League Content House is what I'm being told here, Bear.
That's right, the Content House live from Green Bay, Wisconsin, just outside of Lambeau Field. So you'll get to experience just the vibes that are around all the people gathered for the NFL draft. We had the Super Bowl event just a few months back, and it was absolutely fantastic. I'm sure we'll have some similar vibes as we do that throughout the weekend. That'll be Thursday until Saturday. Players League will be happening at that Content House. What to expect? The ultimate experience, it says here, electric blend of competition, of course, STEM innovation, like we mentioned, and NFL star power, too, as those coaches that we've been talking about that you got to see in the pre-show. We're going to get to meet them firsthand and be able to talk to them, just like we saw them connect with the players a little bit earlier on. They'll get that same experience at the NFL draft, too.
That'll be so cool. You're going to be able to get everyone over there to see so much awesome activity. And, of course, you're going to see the special guest that'll be there. Amon Green, obviously, this kicked off with the podcast. And, of course, he couldn't be left out at all. Hip-hop gamer, influencer, and gaming personality will be there. And a lot of surprise appearances all weekend long. But you guys got a daily shift schedule of a lot of other stuff going down, Bear.
Yeah, we said it was Thursday through Saturday, so we certainly weren't lying about that. It starts off with Thursday, where we got the live podcast with Amon Green. Green. If you haven't already, go to Twitch and follow Amon Green TV. That is AHMAN, Amon Green. You should know him as the Green Bay Packers all-time rusher, but if you have to spell it, it's Amon Green TV you want to follow. Networking and open gaming as well happening during the afternoon time. Mario Kart time trials kick off that day as well. So Thursday, if you're into some Mario Karts, it won't be Mario Kart World like we'll see on this Switch 2, but listen, you're going to have some fun along the weekend too.
Who has a Switch 2 anyway? That doesn't come out till June. We're good to go. We're going to have some awesome Mario Kart that'll be going down. So make sure to get signed up for those time trials as they kicked off. And then Friday, it's going to be all Madden all the time, baby. Is we're going to have all the regional finals. We're going to be crowning the champion while it is there. You have to go through regionals. Then we're going to see our semis. Then we're going to be seeing our finals as to who will finally hold the crown. Will it be Tux Bear? Will it be King Mode? You're going to have to tune in and see because it is a long evening of all Madden.
Yep, absolutely. And then after that, we've got a little bit of the networking and gaming as well, where you might be able to see me and Justin Ellis, the director of education, square off. We haven't decided which day we're going to do it, but that is going to be an opportunity. You said all Madden all the time. Well, listen, it's going to be the Players League crowning a champ and us crowning a champ internally. Also, Mario Kart time trials not only extend into Saturday, they will be on Sunday as well, by the way. And then so we move into Sunday at that point in time. Saturday, rather. So from Friday to Saturday, you'll see that Mario Kart, rather. So my apologies. I'll lay one here. But also, that is when the STEM finals will take place. Live student pitches with their final videos, commercials for Brightspeed. And, of course, the judging panel live in-house as well to give them their final scores. And we will crown the STEM champion, and we'll crown the overall champion, the combination of STEM and esports.
That is going to be so exciting. I will definitely be tuning in because, I mean, first off, seeing just progress and make all those extra steps for these projects over the course of a semester for 2+ months, how could I miss out? This is going to be super awesome, and I know that everyone is going to be so just excited to see, all right, what do they think about it? What will the judges say? Did we put enough special effects? Is there enough, air horn? I don't know. You guys will be able to find out if you tune in on Saturday. You get the Friday with all the football, and then you get Saturday for all the STEM. It just works out so well. And of course, I think that you guys also have a lot of gaming matchups that are still going to happen with everyone that's present there, right?
Yeah, of course. We'll have those gaming matchups taking place. So you got to bring your team. You got to rally your school, show up and show out. This is truly a movement at the end of the day. It's not just about esports, not about STEM. It's really empowering the students beyond just the high school world, right? Being able to live their high school lives, be able to figure all this out as far as content creation, playing games, but being in a productive way in all of their schoolwork too. So whether you're an athlete, student, gamer, educator, doesn't matter. There's a place for you here at Players League, and we want you to experience that firsthand in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with those 5 schools that will be competing for that title as well. So details about the NFL Content House, that'll be announced via Stay Plugged In socials, so make sure you're following there. A big thank you to Stay Plugged In as well as Brightspeed too for making the Players League happen on a regular basis. So Monkey, again, will be live during that time frame, so you got to be following the Twitch channel in order to see all the activities as they take place.
There's a follow button right under this, and then, of course, there's also one when you can subscribe over to the YouTube. Everything will be playing there. Make sure to follow Stay Plugged In, and, of course, check out all of their content. Everything has been driven for high schoolers, students, their parents, and family, making things easier to be able to make sure their futures are easy as well. And Bear, this has been so great to be able to hang out with you for these last couple of months. It's always great to be back in the booth with you. And also shout out over to Blasky. They've been putting our faces in your spaces to make everything just so swimmingly smooth. I cannot wait for the finals next week.
3:30 Eastern Time or 2:30 Central Time on next Thursday. We will see you on Amon Green TV on Twitch for that podcast where he'll be talking about the finals. He'll be talking about Players League. That's where we'll be. And we'll see you and give you more details at that point in time. Until then, we hope you have a great night. Take care. Fire it up, squad. We're here and ready. Players League begins right now.
This is going to be an exciting time. We got some football. We got some STEM. We got some cool stuff coming up.
Bayport High School facing off with Green Bay Southwest High School. We've got Z-Dog 999 be facing off with Cheese. Last matchup we got is One Hand Fishko facing off with It's Tux Bear. And we're looking elsewhere here. Look at the Bucks kind of breaking in here. We'll check out their play. Maybe hop in there really quickly as they're made their way all the way down and looking to punch it in there. And they are able to sneak it in here. Rashad White able to sneak it in here from 2 yards out. And
I mean, if you also have Lamar Jackson, here's the problem. He can literally bring it off his feet. It's something exactly what I'm talking about. One big step, he brings it dead center and finds a way through. You can get through that iron curtain of Detroit Lions, you might have a chance. And that means they may be able to kind of turn this into a one-dimensional affair, especially as they drop back Lamar Jackson all the way upfield. Oh, but he's gone! Flowers in stride! That's how he's been making huge plays. He keeps giving it to big players. Some big chunk yards have also given the opportunity for some of these. You're going to drop them back. You're going to have right in the middle. And again, that's exactly why Winfield Jr. might be able to have a chance to return this one, as it will get caught from behind just before the 30.
But we had a game wrap up at bottom right's already done. So congratulations to It's Tuck's Fair for holding up a respectable comeback from one-hand pinch.
Running it, receiving it. Is it just Henry all the time? If this next one goes to Henry, you bet it did.
No!
Oh my gosh, Nelson will pick it off. The big man coming up huge. Can he be caught? His 40 time is all of 10 minutes, and he eventually gets picked in the middle of the pitch, but not before he takes it super long the other way. Into this play, you cannot let it go too far otherwise. He's got it. Some at least they're going to be crossing over the middle portion of. Oh my goodness, how you do, Aguilar? Oh my gosh. Of course he finds the end zone.
Let's go ahead and go over to match number 1. Spaz Monstar on the offense trying to punch it in here for against Wildcard.
Oh, another pick. Britt, that's his second one of the game as he stood up and found they're trying to strip him at the last second.
Very eager to, at the end of this, talk to the statisticians about how many defensive turnovers there have been, and Simpson will take this one to the house. What did I tell you? Spaz's best chance is a pick 6, and that's what we see yet again. It'll be 17-9 the final here as Sea-Dog 999 will win week 1 over G's.
Congratulations. All 3 Ravens squads will, in fact, be taking it up today, and they find another dub.
Players League returns next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Won't you join us, me and Monkey Man, here on the channel for some more Red Zone action? Until then, we will see you later. Good night. Get on up here and let's get going with Players League Week 2. So we'll bring up the main frame now, where we see our matches. Up at the top will be the Flame Dude versus Spash. Down the bottom left, it'll be Mini Fish facing off with Cheese. Will be Wild Card versus Z-Dog. That matchup, Ravens versus Bucks.
But they are actually going to bring this into, you're going to have Mark Andrews just real tight off the right side, and it's going to be a pass. So, but Lamar, he's so fast. There's no reason to doubt it because you have 2 big runners, and the other one, he's pretty darn quick. So finally, first on the board is going to be Spaz Monstar.
You know that Goff has the power to get to it. They're going to go here in 4th and goal from the 14.
This is huge. If it's able to work out. Oh, they go for a run? Montgomery! Oh my goodness! They pull it away! How in the world? What shouldn't have happened did, and simply put, the Lions get on the board. This is pretty much for all the marbles. Stock standard, you're gonna get the ball back unless some kind of chaos happens. What? They missed the extra points! Gotta give some love to Cheese. They're starting to mount a comeback.
So it'll be Mini Fish, able to gain that victory.
They're gonna try a few conservative plays, right?
We wouldn't.
We don't.
But Flame Dude has completely blown our mind with what decision he's gonna make. It works again, twice in a row. This time to Jamison Williams for the touchdown. Flame Dude in overtime will win 19-13 over Spaz.
Congratulations, Flame Dude joins the 1-1 club.
We got the 2 matches underway. Lions versus Bills, Packers versus Bills. Let's head right into Tuck's Bear versus Ghost. Going for it is going to be risky, and they're going to go for it. I feel like I was going to say there's no doubt in my brain that you're going to have to go for a field goal here. And they said, nope, in fact, wide open. Oh, my goodness. St. Brown.
Overload aside, see if a gap develops, and run that dude. Oh, it's a fake! They're gonna toss it over, looking like an interception. Hey, it's basically a punt, but a lot shorter. Ingram will come up with it. Gonna go with a lot of tight coverage as they try to bring it in. Oh, Robertson with a pick of the line. You should be able to outspeed Josh Allen, but the big man from out of Wyoming trying to pony up, but Robinson just too quick, too fast, too swift, and too far away. As that'll be a pick 6 the other direction.
Depending on any more changes, that'll be one-hand fish with a 20-0 win over Alucard Maine for this one. So congratulations to One Hand Fish for a great performance here, shutout performance.
And even though it's a one-score game and it matches how both these teams did in the regular season, it's the opposite effect, and that's in the form of Ghost Sire, who takes this big win.
That's right, the Week 2 action over, but we want to thank Brightspeed once more. Well, we know that we'll be here next week, same time, same place. Be there, Players Week. It is Players League week number 3. We're very happy to have you here tonight for some more Madden action. So let's go ahead and bring it up now.
You go for that pass, and now they've got all the options in the world. They're going to be throwing this one pretty darn deep, but it gets picked off. Alexander has a chance to take it to the big house.
Will this be his second pick six? It sure will be. Alexander to the house. Jeez, looking to get it done here. Nothing taken away from the huge play from One Hand Fish, but now it's an opportunity. Goes down the field, picked off. Hold that thought.
Uh-oh.
Oh, plenty of space to work with. They're getting blocked. Just an offensive lineman, but he's got some speed. Bubble lifted him up and absolutely destroyed him there on the sideline. Holy cow.
From this, I mean, they're already deep with both Gibbs and as well as back. Gibbs is going to be able to cut it up. He's going to do it again. Easy footwork, and it's wide open grass and spaces. Tuxbear is going to draw it all the way through.
You see it, yeah.
But yeah, I understand now where you're kind of going with that. Into the pocket is where they're going. Can Aguilar be able to bring it in?
Yes!
Oh my goodness. They go double tight. Literally everyone on the field here for the Ravens is right there in your screen. So they're going to try and bring this out. But it was all of a ruse. They've got plenty of room for Jackson to run. He's going to send it. Oh boy. The Flash rocking and rolling.
Check on the other matchup that we have. Look at the Light B and Munchlax, man. Getting a little bit closer here. 21-14. A ball on the ground, though. And that one will be, well, it could be an equalizer after an extra point. They could even take the lead with 2.
Look how close they are. Look how immediate. They are all the way down on 2 hands. That means they're getting as much push and crank as they can. And they're going to be going straight up into it. Oh, did they get it from Flowers? No! Flowers with an outstretched arm is able to cradle that baby egg. Ended up being so. They're taking a risk here. A Munchlax fan going for it, but it's going to be Joseph that picks it up. It depends on how far this return can go. Ultimately, he has to make it through so much traffic. He might be able to do it to the house, to the corner, to the big blue. That's Light B that has finally got a lead change, trying to get even more than 6. Oh, they're going straight to the line. It is all in. Can they sneak it in? It's got to be a sneak if they go for it. Otherwise, it's too deep in the backfield, but he'll make it over. Oh my goodness, with 5 seconds to go.
Need an opportunity to close out now. They've got Montgomery lined up in the eye this time around. They'll give it right to him. Touchdown, no, denied. I believe, no, they got it. Wow, they just got across the line. It'll be Light B walking away with an overtime winner. Congratulations to Light B. Week number 4 coming at you next week. Again, follow all the social media so you know exactly when we go live, with what activation we go live. Until next Wednesday, that's all for the Players League tonight.
Welcome to week 4 of the Players League, presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet.
So you got the human element, you get the real element. As they try to be able to squeeze down, Stroud will drop back. He's going to toss this over. He's got a man wide open, and this is exactly what you go for. Collins will come through. Well, his 4th and forever becomes a big TD.
Well, now you've got 1:16 left on the clock. Let's see if the Packers, oh, that's a dangerous throw. Is that a pick? Yes, it is. Davis has a blocker there as well, and Green all in front of him, and that's going to be a pick 6. Oh my, how the turns have tabled.
Gonna try and make this a sweat marker. You actually pulled your middle linebacker. Oh, and Dotson will pull away. It was right over the top. They ran straight into the strong safety, and they even slowed down. Oh, adding some extra insult to what was a huge score. If you let him get down to wide open spaces, he can make you look silly. You got triple locked in to the right side of the line. Everyone empty backfield. Stroud is going to try and go across the Mixon. Mixon will cut up, and he will shut up this defense, as we're going to be tied up. If a PAT comes through, you're guaranteed somewhere in the realm of 8 downs. So Mahomes with an empty backfield. He's going to toss it up to Kelsey, and Kelsey is going to be getting some sweet singing as they're able to find the end zone. In totality has really been Stroud with a drop back. Lots of time, forever. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Can they even get it out of his hands? No. He's got iron grip. And that'll put them up to 42. Looks like they're going to try and take advantage of this goal line defense.
Well, there's the fake on the handoff. However, I was going to say there's everyone covered in the passing game, but somehow, some way, it still finds its way across the goal line, and it's now 33, should be 34-2 here in just a moment.
That does end our Madden sesh. Thank you guys for coming with us. Players League obviously has been posting up some fantastic talents through both of our blocks. We were able to get some fantastic wins. It was for Colin, Light B, and Ghost, all improving in the winners column. And we'll see you next time.
Welcome into week 5 of the Players League here on the Stay Plugged In Network.
Kind of pack the box a bit, but because everything spreads out, as long as they get the timing, you get exactly this. It's the same zone out and Brown. And, oh man, they're gonna find another one so quickly. For Jackson to just kind of walk his way over left if he wants to. He will in fact follow though. Not gonna have a lot of running room, and yet he makes it work. Oh my goodness, up a thin seam, and that'll be a lead change over to Tux.
Right, like they touched Mahomes, but nope, apparently that's illegal in this world. So, wide open right side, and Samaje Perine with a wide open touchdown that will be mercy rule. And again, that pressure is just not getting through, and they brought a whole bunch. But broken tackle there, Jamison Williams, another cut around a couple defenders, somehow dipping, diving, dodging, ducking, and getting to the 6-yard line here for first and goal.
Great job. You see how close this entire bunch package is for this this defense. He has so many dudes lined up, and Barkley is able to break through. First score on the boards going to the old D of E.
Hey, wow.
They're just able to do kind of everything and be very strong in similar directions. They go leaping! Worthy's worthy of this one. You saw the quarterback trying to stop. They knew it was a blown coverage, and they got a gap behind them.
Now gonna go for the field goal, which
Wait.
Hello? Oh my
yeah.
goodness, they're wide open too.
No.
They're wide open. There's Tyreek Hill. Oh no, it's not Tyreek Hill. Who in the world is that? Oh my goodness.
I've seen this play before, and the last time they did it, they actually had it as a run. Hurts has to get it out. It's off center. It doesn't matter. Saquon is able to pick it up. He stands on his feet. Are you kidding me? Does he put on the afterburners? Yes, he will. How in the world this man turns into a pinball and will tilt beyond the defender? He doesn't have an official record. He's currently 2-0 over other players. So seeing the score that it is now, King Mode had to bring out some guns. However, he's throwing and cannon shot all the way downfield.
Watch Players League as well happening on this channel, exact same time, same place next week. So make sure you get your Twitch channel / YouTube channel open on Stay Plugged In, and make sure that happens at 6 p.m. Eastern time, because that's when we go live. And see more Madden action, see if we can't create even deeper storylines, see who turns it around, see who continues undefeated, because I can guarantee you it's not going to be everybody that we've seen so far. Welcome into Players League, week number 6. We've got some Madden action here for you today. A similar play might be coming, or just give it to Barkley. You have so many options these days. It will be to Barkley. It will be a touchdown. Director of Ed will be up 6-0. That player that's just capable of it, and it extends that type of play. That's why you see him go back to it over and over again. A great tiptoe through space. Wide open. Saquon Barkley to the house. It'll be 14-0 now as Director of E on the board again.
And then they have some spread that's going left. It's going to end up being just a flat run. We have not seen Henry weaponized, but when he's finally out in free space, the man is good for 6. And finally, Davo will break that goose egg.
One opportunity to try to push it in. And they'll roll out right. They got space. They'll try to make use of it. They do. Jackson gets in. Davo able to pull it back within 1. Another 32. Big play here at this point in time. You want to at least get chunk yardage, 4th down territory for sure. Actually, a lob wide open. Oh, the back of the end zone. Flowers got it. Yes, they do. 21-18 with a big back of the end zone strike. Let's Monkey Man. My name is Bearlight, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Welcome to week 7 of the Players League, presented by Brightspeed Fiber Internet.
Now you're trying to set up a pass, and he's already in the shotgun, so you pretty much guarantee that it's going to be that. He's got Gibbs out wide left. He's got a man wide open as Williams will be picking it up, and that is going to be first points on the board here for Flame Dude.
Try and even things at at 6 if they can. That's wide open, by the way. It's Sam Laporte has got some space to work with. The dive will miss, and wide open spaces will lead for a touchdown.
You know what? Safe call. I'm not against getting the regular PAT, considering that the wind is nasty in Detroit.
Because then you just kind of bounce off. You have to be able to just wrap them up. Here's an opportunity as well. Far side, stuck it in. How did he get this one? They'll count it. It'll be 13-22 now.
Wonder if they're going to key in that Gibbs is going to be out that way, but no, they just go straight over to the main man himself as he comes up with it again.
EAT it is. Will be the decision. A little bit off to the left side. It's a fake. Why? Oh no. At least back within 4, and then extra point we've always got to wait on. But now they've got open space. Laporta, good cut in as well for the touchdown. Motion one over. Opportunity. Fakes it, throws, wide open. Great play call and a touchdown to make it 13-3.
So the only, I'm gonna be real. The only hockey video game I've ever played is Nagano 98 on the N64, and
Nice.
apparently Jackson is just gonna rip one from scrimmage to end zone. Wow. I would think. I mean, if you're trying to just let him park the bus, it's gonna. What?
No!
No way! It deflected off of another receiver and ends up in the hands of St. Brown. What?
That's crazy. Off the hands tip drill from the offense, apparently. And it works. Opportunity with Jackson. Back of the shotty. Now gonna lob it. Nobody back out there, though. And user interception. Tugs Bear gonna lock this one down.
Why not? Oh, McCarthy. What? Oh, just for reasons. Yeah, a nice skip into the end zone as Hawkinson adds one for punishment.
And of course, more Players League coming at you as well. Follow the social media like Monkey Man said, and we'll see you next time. Good night.